Welcome to the grid, where the names don't fade, where the first turn shakes and the brave get made. PHG in the air, hear the whole room call. Season 4 tonight, yeah, we came to ball. Chrome on the nose and the tires scream. Every lap a test, every corner a dream. Legends in the lane with the pressure on. When the lights go down, we're already gone. PHG, PHG, let it ring through the dome. Bring that fire to the track, bring it all back home. Drivers on edge, eyes locked, hands cold. One more shot at glory, one more story told. Helmet on tight, heart loud on my chest. Nerves like a wire, but I never rest. Grid full of ghosts with the title to keep. And the whole world waiting when the red lights sleep. Every move sharp, every line stays clean. Close on the inside, cut through the scene. If you want the crown, better hold that pace, cause the legends don't blink in a high-speed race. Hear that shit now. PHG, PHG, PHG. Feel it shake now. PHG, PHG. One breath, one line, one chance to shine. No backing off, it's go time. We go time. PHG, PHG, let it ride. Legends race here, nowhere to hide. PHG, PHG, feel the flame. Season 4, we all know the name. PHG, PHG, take the crown when the lights hit red. We don't slow down. PHG, PHG, hear that roar. Legends race here, and we want more. Late apex, pressure, I'm cutting it close. Paint on the bumper, I'm ghost to the ghost. They want my line, but I've been that raw. One hard pass and the whole room cool. Burnt out rubber on the edge of the fight. Every lap counts in the dead of night. If the pack comes close, I don't move back. I hit that gap like a clean attack. Hear that chant now. PHG, PHG, PHG. Feel it shake now. PHG, PHG. One breath, one line, one chance to shine. No backing off, it's go time. PHG, PHG, let it ride. Legends race here, nowhere to hide. PHG, PHG, feel the flame. Season 4, we all know the name. PHG, PHG, take the crown when the lights hit red. We don't slow down. PHG, PHG, hear that roar. Legends race here, and we want more. Yeah. Look at that lineup. Look at that pressure. This is where the fast learn fear, and the fearless learn speed. PHG, World Series Season 4. Not a warm-up, not a preview. This is the race. This is the run. This is where legends move. Take the signal, lock the pace. One more lap, one more chase. Hands stay steady, eyes stay true. Every rival pushing through, and the crowd all rise and the engine scream. We break the limit, we own the drive. PHG, PHG, let it ride. Legends race here, nowhere to hide. PHG, PHG, feel the flame. Season 4, we all know the name. PHG, PHG, take the crown when the lights hit red. We don't slow down. PHG, PHG, hear that roar. Legends race here, and we want more. PHG, legends race here. Season 4, we're live, we're locked, we're going. Welcome in, buckle in, tune that grip. PSG World Series Season 4, let it rip. 4 wheels, hard lines, one more lap. Hear that chant, shake the whole room back. PSG, PSG, say it again. From the first green light to the very end. We came for the smoke, came for the pace, came for the chase, came for the race. So if you hear that roar in the back of your mind, that's the feel coming up on the inside. PHG, let it ride. Season 4, and it's ours tonight. Start, line tremble, gloves on tight, hands on the wheel and the whole room bright. Break points carved like cuts in stone. Every turn got a name of its own. Close draft breath in the mirror glow. One bad move and the pack swings low. Check that line, keep the rear end live. You don't survive here, you drive and drive. PHG in the chant, let it ring. Every lap got a hungry thing. Engine shout with a razor edge. We run that edge, we live that edge. Now the tension climbs. Now the gridlock's tight. Hear the crowd lean in. Feel that first turn bite. PHG, PHG. Stomp that name. PHG, PHG. We came for the flame. PHG, PHG. Shout it loud. PHG, PHG. Shake the crowd. Wheel to wheel, we don't back down. PHG, PHG. Take the crown. PHG, PHG. Right here now. PHG, PHG. Hear that sound. Lap by lap, we own this night. PHG, PHG. All fight. And a hard red stare. One late break and you're hanging there. Tiny mistakes turn into scars. Cut too close and you're seeing stars. But the pack keeps coming mean and fast. Every second feels like the last. Heat in the seat, no room to freeze. We move like wolves through the S-curve squeeze. PHG in the walls and the bones and the hiss and the crowd and the chrome tone. Say my name with the night on back. We don't drift off, we attack. Listen close. This is where it changes. This is where the calm gets stripped away. One corner, one breath, one heartbeat against a wall of engines. If you came for safe, you came wrong. If you came for slow, you stayed home. PHG is here, and the whole season starts now. Shout it loud. Shake the crowd. Wheel to wheel, we don't back down. Take the crown. Right here now. Hear that sound. Lap by lap, we own this night. All fight. Let it fade, but the mark we made won't wash away. Season 4, still in your chest. First lap curse and the final test. One last cry till the checker drops from the sky. We were here, you heard the call. We started all.
Yeah, I'm just seeing starting soon on your screen. I don't hear him. I just see the... I'm doing great, TK. So I just come off of helping commentate for IRO, and I am here for another round of commentating and a fun afternoon of talking racing with my friends.
Season 3 PHG World Series. You know the road, you know the pressure. Every lap, every move, every mistake gets paid in full. And when the lights went red, somebody had to rise. Somebody had to drive like the end was coming. Cold grip on the wheel, eyes locked on the line. 10 cars in the mirror, one shot, one time. Fuel in the tank and fear in the chest. Last lap hunger, who wants it best? They came for the crown, they came for the smoke, but the track kept talking and the whole room broke. Hear that roar? That's season 3. One slip, one scar, then you're gone from me. Hands up, breathe deep, then floor it down. When the pack starts fighting, you don't back down. PHG World Series, run it back, run it hard. PHG World Series, every turn left a scar. PHG World Series, we came to take the flame. PHG World Series, say the name, say the name. Overtake, snap clean, like steel on stone. Late break legends drag them home. Pit wall screaming, tires to the edge. One back corner and you're off the ledge. Some held lines, some lost nerve. Some got clipped by the truth they didn't deserve. But the best kept pushing through the dust and flame. When the final flag dropped, they remembered the name. Hear that roar? That's season 3. One slip, one scar, then you're gone from me. Hands up, breathe deep, then floor it down. When the pack starts biting, you don't back down. PHG World Series, run it back, run it hard. PHG World Series, every turn left a scar. PHG World Series, we came to take the flame. PHG World Series, say the name, say the name. Thunder in the low end, ash in the air. One last shove, the underdog staring at the front, then biting through the glove. The wheel went heavy, the night went deep, but the brave stayed awake while the weak fell asleep. And the whole damn season started speaking in stars, from the first green light to the final stars. PHG World Series, run it back, run it hard. PHG World Series, every turn left a scar. PHG World Series, we came to take the flame. PHG World Series, say the name, say the name. Season 3, that's the recap, that's the run. No excuses, no mercy, just laps, blood, and nerve. And when the dust settled, the title still stood. PHG World Series. Ha, ha.
Oh, definitely. Wid's definitely a very, very fast driver, and he definitely puts on a show for all of us when he's out there on track. Just like all of our drivers do, they really do put on quite the show and make for a good night in that case, or in today's case, a good afternoon of entertainment.
Testing, testing. Un, deux, trois. Can you hear me, folks? Can you hear me? I'm going to assume yes. Our next sponsor, who's been with us for a while now, 4D Racewear. 4D Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoe and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 4D Racing shoes are custom engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, and still provide the comfort needed for those double and triple stints. Visit 4dracewear.com and check out the original racing gloves for your feet. That's 4dracewear.com and discount code PAPA10X.
And last but definitely not least, we have MZW. MZW delivers high quality sim racing gear, including custom GT style wheel replicas and premium accessories for performance, precision, and immersion, especially within the Fanatec ecosystem.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We are doing multi-class here at the PHG World Series. First time doing it. We are at Watkins Glen, 60 minutes race. Yes, this is an endurance race. The lap count is different depending on how fast these drivers are. Some of the GT3 cars will finish before the GT1 cars just because of where they are on the track. So we got 60-minute race. And I don't think the audio is added to this one either, Papa. Okay, cool. Okay. So 60 minutes of multi-class racing, 3 times tire wear. The racing hard and racing mediums are required. Fuel is 3x with a 3 liters per second fuel rate. We saw yesterday that the fuel definitely
60 minutes
made a
of
big difference as we
multi-class
saw. Who was that who leapfrogged in the
and
pits? Uh, you guys saw it yesterday. You know what I'm talking about. He had the cool camo, black and white camo car. The cars they'll be using are the Group 1 2016 cars, and then the Group 3 NASCAR Cup. So that's going to include the Dodge Viper, the Ford Mustang, the Chevy Corvette, and the Toyota Supra. So we got 2 classes going on there, and that's going to be really fun. And something new that we've added, we did it yesterday. Hopefully, we can get through it today without any hiccups. Is we do have the Rossi lap. So I'll hand it over to you, Chuck.
Yes, as some of you know, we have a new member of the PHG crew. He is our tame sim racing driver. Some say he once tamed a liger with nothing but a wheel of cheese, made by microtransactions. Know is he's called the Rousey. Down into second and powering out of the turn. To be careful on this uphill right-hander. A little too much gas and you're going to end up sideways. We saw a little bit of that last night, especially with FR cars. You're going to brake just before the 100-meter board here and down to second gear. Down into second gear, powers out. Be careful on this uphill right-hander. All of the outside. Meter board down into second, or excuse me, 400-meter board. Little lift here. No braking required, just maybe a dab. Down into third here. Powers out, hope it sticks. The component car screaming down the straightaway. Listen to all that power and across the line. Alpha to G Group 1 cars, same basic rules apply, just with a lot more downforce, a lot more horsepower. Comes down with first right-hander and hammer down through the S's. Component car screaming down the straightaway. Listen to all that power and across the line. Alpha to G Group 1 cars, same basic to hit this tin building for your braking point. Feather in the throttle through the bus stop. Not to lose it through there, that's a very important part of the track. A little lift through here. Hammer down, using all that track to the outside. Downhill left-hander downshifts. Down to the power. Back up. Dicey uphill right-hander. Ease on the throttle. Out, using all of that extra space on the outside of the track there. Down shifts, outside curb, and this left-hander powers out, almost kisses the wall there, but hangs on to it. A little lift here, all that extra downforce. Down into the final turn, accelerates, cross the line, finish. Lap.
Awesome. That was fantastic. Good job walking us through that. Thank you to the Rossi. That's short for paparazzi, for those who don't know. You haven't been around here. Very cool. I know who the driver is. I'm not at liberty to say, but needless to say, they are quick and they know what they're doing. Great job walking us through that, Chuck. So next up, we need to see who's driving in these splits and make sure we can be heard whilst we take you through split 2, Chuck.
Yeah, so split 2 in group 1, we're going to have Florinota, and behind them we have PHG Ecstasy. Next up, we've got Saint, and then after that is VIP Left to Pass You. Our very own Arrow follows behind, and Felmora is behind Arrow, and Theo is another one of our own. He is back there to round out the Group 1 cars, although he will not be here today, I'm told, because he unfortunately had to work. Real life, right?
Real life, but he is in the chat, so he's not working that hard.
Fair enough, fair enough. Hi, Leo. Don't work too hard, buddy. Now for Group 3, we've got Drobo, followed by RTR Diablo. After that is my fellow Ohioan Cornbread. Behind Cornbread is NVR's Maverick. Then behind Maverick is B. Rodriguez from our team here at PHG. Sector 7 Racing's Digital Relay is next, followed lastly by RTR Stamps.
Awesome, awesome. So we got a good mix of drivers here for split 2. So for those who aren't aware, the way things work here at the PHG World Series is a little different. You qualify during the week. We have 2 days, Tuesday and Wednesday every week. You have the opportunity to qualify. That qualifying time determines where you are. And so we had our split 1. So that was the top Group 1 drivers, the top Group 3 drivers. Then we had split 3, which was the bottom third, Group 1 and Group 3. So for right now, we have Group 2. So these are the second fastest Group 1 and Group 3 drivers in split 2. And that's where they'll start. So there's no qualifying. We're going to here shortly get into this 60-minute race. It's a rolling start. Like we said, 2 tire compounds are required. We saw a bunch of different strategies. Nobody was able to make the one-stop work. What are you thinking strategy-wise, Chuck?
You know, it's really hard to tell. This has always been a weak point of mine as far as strategy goes. I would just say try to stay out as long as you can and minimize time in the pits. I don't know if how these drivers are going to do it through different race styles or short shifting or just being patient.
Well, here we go. Drivers are getting set and ready to rock and roll, and I can tell you the top 3 drivers are on mediums. PHG Arrow and P4 on the hards, but Florinata taking off with Ecstasy just behind, going into turn 1. Looks like line astern all the way back. Everybody keeping it clean, keeping it within track limits. Moving forward and up the hill they go with the S's in high speed, full downforce. Looking further back, it looks like the GT3 cars got away cleanly, as well as Florinata able to maintain the lead, a half a second lead ahead as we go into the bus stop for the first time of a 60-minute race. Gets through cleanly. Clearly that downforce makes a huge difference on these cars. Moving very nicely. Ecstasy now in P2, Saint in P3. Like I said, all 3 drivers on the mediums. Then we have Arrow on the hards. Felmora just behind on the hards as well. So equal tire compounds there. And that is the end of our Group 3. So now we go back to our Group 1. Now we go back to our Group 3. We see Drobo and Diablo battling it out, but Diablo does have that half-second penalty. So even if he does make this move up the inside, which he does, he will get that position back, serving this half-second penalty. But we saw yesterday, Chuck, that the penalty didn't hurt you too bad, but this early on in the race, with the cars this close, as we see Maverick get by VIP Cornbread just behind, an exciting first lap for these Group 3 cars as they go side by side into this tight right-hander. Everything looking clean and smooth. Everybody keeping it nice and tidy. What are your reflections on the start of this race here, Chuck?
I think it's a very exciting start to the race. Getting that penalty early, you got plenty of time to make up, plenty of race to run to make up that time. That's right. So obviously you want to avoid a penalty at all costs, but earlier on in the race would be preferable if you're going to get a penalty because it gives you plenty of time to make up for it as the race goes.
Indeed. And looking back, I mean, a variety of tires. We got last place on the hards, Mr. Rodriguez, Stamps on the hards, Diablo on the hards. And look at that, moving their way through. The Corvette, the only Corvette, trying to hold on there. Oh no, Maverick also in the Corvette. So lots of hard tires for the Group 3 runners. And then only just a handful. I think the front 3 runners are really the only ones on the medium in the Group 1 cars. As SSC in P2, Saint in P3 with a half second. And it does look like Arrow also with a penalty. So Saint is safe, but he is going to lose touch to SSC as the grid starts to back out. And we see just further back, P5 and P6 look like they're going to get nice and tidy as Arrow had picked up that penalty. That's going to allow Felmora, as we ride on board in the point of view cam of Felmora, you can see just how limited the visibility is in these vehicles and so much data being thrown at the drivers. They have battery to worry about, they have fuel to worry about, they got tire wear to worry about. For me personally, I am not great with the battery consumption. Chuck, you said you weren't super big on these Group 1 cars. Do you have any understanding of the battery usage?
No, I really don't. What I think you can do to recharge the battery is kind of akin to what Pops told me about, various fuel saving strategies in oval racing, is dragging the brake, because, they've got systems in the car that use any kind of energy they can to juice back into the battery. So dragging the brakes might be a way for these drivers to boost up their battery as the race progresses before they have to go into the pit for fuel.
Indeed, and you can see here Maverick really pulling away now, taking full advantage of the penalty Diablo had early on, able to pull away in the Corvette. Great looking livery, but you can see Diablo not getting a chance to breathe with VIP Cornbread following close behind. We have a lot of experience with Cornbread. We know what he is capable of as he is up behind, and no, he decides to give a little bump and hang tight. He's thinking the long game. That's hard to do here, but being on the hard tires, these drivers are going to go till the end of their fuel, which tends to be about 30 minutes into the race, about halfway. So being smart, thinking ahead as we ride on board with Stamps. Everybody, I feel like yesterday being the first races, everybody was a little antsy in their pantsy, We saw a lot of moves, and today I think people have learned and they're thinking about the long game. Would you say, Chuck?
I would, yes. And the advantage these guys have is they obviously have had the opportunity to watch both the races we had last evening and see the various different strategies play out and see how different cars are going to react as the race progresses. So they're kind of taking into account everything they saw last night and incorporating it into their own strategy for today's race.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And that is always the advantage of, while you're not getting top split points, you are getting a chance to see what these drivers do. And also for us in the booth, I know you had to commentate, Chuck, but I just got to sit back and watch yesterday. So I had my own learning lesson and thinking of talking points of what we're going to do as we see Saint starting to catch back up to SSC, pulling them in the slipstream. Trying to remember, are all these Group 1 drivers in the same vehicle? It looks like they are all in the Audi, so there is not going to be any type of offset like we saw yesterday between Jack and It's Just Carl, where they could reel each other in, but each being in a different car, they both had pros and cons, as we see PHG Arrow picking up that half-second penalty. I think somebody might be trying to follow in Fernando Button's footsteps, maxing out their penalties. It's like your credit card. You got to pay that off. You can't just keep spending, y'all.
Yeah, definitely.
Be financially smart.
Right? It's so easy to get pens in some sectors of this track. You want to use as much of the track as possible, but you get a little bit too wide in a turn and you think you're good, and then all of a sudden a couple seconds later pops up on your screen that you got a little pen going on.
And further back in our Group 3, P7, able to get ahead of P8 Diablo because Diablo served a penalty. So that has free Cornbread to chase Maverick down. The Supra is the favored car here, but we saw with Vetterdan in Split 3, the Corvette is no slouch, right, Chuck?
Yeah, no, it's no slouch at all. You know, American V8 power, right? On these straight sections, the vet should be able to pick up some time, and it's not your standard American car, your fingers quote, that people that doesn't handle very well. That's the vet's whole thing. It's America's sports car, right? So it's built to handle turns as well.
Indeed, not to cut you off, Chuck, but if we can go back up to P2, we got a battle. Saint has caught up to Ecstasy and is now applying the pressure. Seeing here, how conservative are they going to be? Saint is on the mediums, Ecstasy on the mediums. So both these drivers on the same compound. The question is, how long will these tires last? And will that allow Belmora, who is 7.5 seconds behind on the racing car tires? Will we see? It seemed yesterday, Chuck, that the undercut was really strong, right?
Right, yeah, you know, just trying to undercut everybody and gain that track position later on down the line.
And you can
And
see
maybe a little
Saint.
bump trap.
Yep, keep going, Chuck. Sorry.
Yeah, it's good. You know, Saint just giving a little bump draft there. Once he playing the long game. I do like the Star Wars reference in his paint scheme. I'm an old Star Wars fan, more of a Trekkie these days, but definitely a nod there. Orinoda, make sure I say that right, coming up on that tricky uphill right-hander, using all that track. As
Here we go. They're catching the lap cars here. This is where it's going to get exciting. Let's go ahead and try it here as we see. This name is so hard for me. Florinoda come through. If we can try or crank it up, let's see if we get it right this time. Hopefully that worked as we ride on board with Belmora. That looked really smooth. It looked like everybody got through cleanly with the blue flags waving. Nothing. Oh, but here we go. We got some drama with Saint as he comes across two Group 3 battling it out. If we could get a replay of that, that would be amazing. If not, I completely understand. But you can see those two Group 3 cars battling it out here. We got Stamps and P9 of D. Rodriguez. Stamps trying to go up to the inside, but then he sees all the blue flags. They both have to back out of it there. And there we go. Well done. Clean racing by all. That's what we like to see here at the PHG World Series. But that battle between Maverick and Cornbread and Diablo is still popping off as more Group 3 cars of Ecstasy makes it through. Holy cow, everyone battling it out. Even more battles back in P10 as well as Stamps and D. Rodriguez are continuing their fight.
Oh man,
Incredible stuff.
Craziness all over the track, you know. But
oh, and there goes.
Look at that.
Right? Incredible to see that get through. Here's the replay. So we're on board here, and you can see, oh, he just has to make the decision. And I noticed that as we had a caution, we're not going to see exactly what that is. But hopefully everybody is okay. I'll scroll through and see if anybody has damage. But the main thing for these Group 3 cars is to be predictable. And sure enough, Cornbread has fallen back to P11. We don't know what happened, but he does have front bumper damage and right. Yeah, he already had the damage there. So he has made contact at some point and fallen all the way back. Unfortunate for Cornbread.
That is unfortunate. Sometimes things like that happen in racing, though. For the stewards, if there was any, if it was due to competitor, the stewards will take a look at that and figure out what exactly happened here as we see Florinota. Trying to get easier to say Florinota and Saint.
I think
if here.
If Felmora wasn't in this race, it would be easier to say. It's kind of like when Ecstasy and Nasty are in the same race.
Right.
They do it on purpose, Chuck. They try to make it hard. They don't know how hard this is, and then they're throwing stuff at us. And man, things get a little tricky here. But we are 47 minutes into this 60-minute race, and everybody's looking good, despite one incident from Cornbread. Everybody else seems to be moving right along. Arrow continuing to pick up the penalties, just pushing that car a bit too hard. He does have ASM and traction control on to help him in that car, but seems to be a little bit tricky there on the track limits. But this track is tricky when it comes to track limits because it only has, 2 slow corners. Everything else is pretty fast. Like when you get into the boot, that's where things slow down, but everything else is high speed, especially as we go into the bus stop chicane. Let's see how Diablo handles it following his Corvette of Maverick, and they both get through cleanly. Looks like Diablo able to carry a little more speed through there.
Yeah, he's definitely closing that gap. He's within the draft now. He's going to try to reel Maverick in. Closed up a lot of space right there. And trying to hold on to the back and maybe make a pass coming up here soon. A downshift and go up into the tricky uphill right-hander.
And that's where we saw a couple incidents. I believe that's where McNaughty in the Group 1 car, remember when he had that scare, he almost went straight into the wall. I couldn't believe he saved it. But Diablo clearly showing that the Supra in the right hands is the superior car here as he continues to gain on Maverick. Chuck, what's your experience with this track?
I like racing here. It's a good time, I think a while back, I think Shawnzy was in the lobby with me, and I had a bad pitch strategy, and I crossed the line with no rear. One of my rear tires was just completely worn. He was catching up to me. But other than that, I really like racing here. I feel like it's got a good flow, especially once you've practiced it and you kind of get into the groove of how the track races. It's definitely a lot of fun.
Indeed, this is one of my faves as well. I wasn't familiar. I didn't know it. I learned it very quickly, and you know me, I love my road cars on sport tires, and this they like to do a race 8 here quite often. So I've become very accustomed to this track.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a fun track to do. Like I said before, it flows really well. Definitely get some good racing here. Diablo really closes the distance here. Maverick, he is all over his bumper.
Yes, indeed. I've been looking around, and Group 1 has completely spread out, but we got a battle for P6. We got a battle for P9. So the Group 3 cars keeping it interesting, giving us something to focus on. And what's going to be really interesting is they're all on these. Oh, no. Yes, they all are on the same strategy. So it'll just be a matter of how comfortable do they feel making the mediums last. Though I'm not good at maths, Chuck. We are 43 minutes or 44 minutes in, half a tank of fuel. That's going to be interesting. We might see, we saw a lot of 2 stops yesterday, but only a handful of drivers went to the soft. So curious to see what these guys are going to do. If everybody's just going to follow the leader pit at the same time, hope for a mistake, or potentially see a strategy mix-up.
Yes, indeed. I feel like here maybe about more than 15 minutes into the broadcast, so maybe around the 30-minute mark. Yeah, you're probably going to have to come in for some fuel. And with how these racing hard tires are wearing down. They're definitely going to have to take on some new tires.
Indeed, indeed. Yeah, I do enjoy having all tires available, but a tire requirement, because that really changes things up. And even if you're just going for fastest lap, just for kudos to you. We did see that yesterday with some soft runners trying that. But look at this, Diablo not giving Maverick a chance to breathe, and we saw this all day yesterday. Two drivers just entwined the entire race, and I don't know how many of y'all in the chat have raced for an hour. It's a lot. I've done a little bit of IRO and some other things. It's exhausting, and consistency is key. So as we look to the right at Diablo's lap times, you can see we got a 49, a 48, a 50, a 48, 49, 49, 48, 48. Fairly consistent. We'd really like to see it like his lap. I'm going to do it. 6 and 7
6,
are almost identical, with a 49.125 and a 49.12. So that's what these drivers need to do in a long race like this. It's about consistency. It's about overall race time. Whoever's overall race time is shortest wins. And that's what's important. Yes, the battling for position and stuff, but if you're just focused on being consistent, we can see here on board with our race leader, Florinota, we see a 31, a 31, a 31, a couple 32s, and then back into the 31. So they're starting to find a rhythm here as we're almost 20 minutes into this race, and he's starting to catch lap traffic yet again of VIP Cornbread. Let's see how they navigate these S's. Very nicely done. Again, as long as these Group 3 drivers stay predictable, don't go darting across the track to try to get out of the way. Hold your line, allow the faster car to get by. If you're in a corner, just keep doing what you're doing. And you can see here, Diablo just holds the inside, and with the downforce and the speed of Florinata, he's able to just easily pass around the outside. Now this is going to get tricky because Stamps and D. Rodriguez are battling it out here. We've seen this once, we're seeing it twice. Look, side by side, nowhere for Florinata to go. But he gets by. I would love to get to see that again from a chase cam. That was incredible. Chuck, what are you seeing here?
Oh man, I'm just seeing him looking for an opening anywhere he can find it. He doesn't want to ruin anybody else's day. Just like Rodriguez and Stamps, and he sees a hole down there, a little opening, a little gap, and shoots right on through. Great driving from all three parties.
Yeah, that was nice. You saw he had to back out of it. Y'all remember, you can lift, and there is a brake pedal. Believe it or not, those do exist. I know we forget about it. But you saw Florinata could have kept it pinned, and there was most likely going to be contact. Smart enough to know that he's in the faster car, and he can easily get through. And while we're watching this battle between D. Rodriguez and Stamps, I want to take a moment to say a big thank you to Rob WR737 for the one gifted, and congratulations to Don Squad Gaming for receiving that gifted. And then a big thank you to Can't Find a Better Dan for 24 months of membership, 2 years. Let's go PHG for life. But he spelled life with a Y, so I don't know what that means. And look at Saint getting right through there. Wow. Very nicely done. These drivers are doing a great job of navigating. This is not an easy track for multi-class. IMSA comes here every year and does their multi-class. And granted, there's about 50 cars on track versus our 11. But the amount of incidents here is overwhelming. And you see SSC having to go wide against Cornbread because Cornbread did the right thing and just held his line. And easily enough, SSC gets around. It's a lot easier for these Group 1 cars to hang on around the outside than it is for the Group 3, just due to the downforce. There's less mechanical grip on the outside of the track due to the marbles. The tires aren't getting as much grip, but these cars aren't relying on the tires for grip as much as they are relying on the downforce of the car. And you can see they're just easily getting past, using that hybrid energy, getting ahead of D. Rodriguez. So we're getting close to the halfway point, Chuck. We've seen no pit stops yet. Any thoughts of what you've been seeing so far?
It's just, it never ceases to amaze me how crazy multi-class racing is, because everybody has to have more awareness about them than you do in single class racing, because you know you gotta be paying attention to, okay, is this a Group 1 car coming up behind me? As we see,
And hold on, Chuck.
Diablo.
Yeah. Okay, keep going, Chuck. You got it.
Yeah, he's battling it out, makes a good pass with Maverick. These guys are fighting it out hard, though. Got Maverick all over his bumper, trying to get that spot back as they blast through these S's and are hammered down coming into the bus stop. I wonder if Maverick will turn in kind and make a pass to move here into the bus stop. Looks down to the inside, and Diablo shuts the door. Very intense racing here.
That was a little half move from Maverick. I don't think he ever intended to send it, but he wanted to make sure Diablo knew he had the overspeed and was in his mirrors. Just making sure he knows he's there. Now, Chuck, as a VR driver, I have VR, but I don't race competitively in it as much like you do. What are your thoughts? Imagine you're one of these Group 3 racers, as we see Felmora trying to navigate this. You don't have as much visual aid in VR. What are your thoughts about trying to do this in VR? Do you think it would be more difficult or just more fun?
Yes to both. It's much more of a intense feeling from VR versus from the bumper or the hood cam or the bonnet cam, as our friends across the pond like to call it. It feels a lot more crazy. You know, I've shown my wife races before from the broadcast view, as I like to call it, on my channel, and then sometimes from the bumper cam, but then I put her, show her the same race, but from my perspective in VR, and it's just a whole new level of intensity. The lack of visibility, you don't have the, for instance, in the bumper cam, you've got the little hint where it's like, hey, a car's over here, where it kind of grays out or darkens the side of the screen where somebody's trying to make a pass on you. You got to use your mirrors, and you got to look down at that radar to make sure everything's clean and know where everybody's at. So it's definitely a much more intense experience.
So something that's standing out to me here is Stamps is almost out of fuel, whereas all of his Group 3 competitors have around a quarter of a tank. Not exactly sure what's been going on with Stamps, but he's definitely going to have to pit earlier than everybody else. We're about 35 minutes into this 60-minute race, or 35 minutes left, so 25 minutes in to this race, and you can just see how much more fuel everybody else has than Stamps. Stamps will have to use the medium tire, and that's a really long stint. I mean, we did see people make that medium tire last, but you're asking a lot in these Group 3 cars, wouldn't you say?
Oh, definitely. Because once that tire starts getting beyond that halfway point, as even the racing hard tires are largely beyond that halfway point in wear, you're going to start bleeding off lap time, and that's one of the things you have to ask yourself and plan around. Is it worth it to lose that time down the road, or do you just stay on the hards and make up for it early in the race?
Indeed, as you can see, that fuel running low. Drobo and Cornbread in hot pursuit. Good job on Cornbread for catching up as he did, because he fell all the way to the back with that incident that we weren't quite able to capture. And sure enough, Stamps avoiding that pit line. Does he do it? We'll only find out in a bit. So that's going to drop him back to last, and he will most definitely come out into Group 1 traffic. So we'll see here, and it's going to be a long fill up. And if he fills all the way up, he still won't make it to the end because he used all that fuel and it's not even halfway done. So he will either need to fuel save or he's planning on another pit stop. Something we did see when you let your tires get all the way down, I believe it was Jack Skellington yesterday, how slow he had to take that pit entry because his front left was completely gone and he did not want to pick up that 3-second penalty.
Yes, definitely. That 3-second penalty is always a bummer to get. I've gotten it a couple times myself, and it's definitely a race ruin. As you can see, he did fill up all the way, it looks like, Stamps, as he comes out of the pit. And like you pointed out, TKs, even at the halfway point, he's towards the end of the race, he's still going to have to do some saving or go into the pits again for some splash and go, or maybe even a tire change.
And he may do a splash and go in a soft tire and go for fastest lap. You know, you never know what's going to happen, but he comes out on the medium, so he has fulfilled both tire requirements. But he's got to figure out, if he doesn't want to pit again, he's got to figure out an extra 3 minutes of fuel. That's going to be, I guess, about 2.5 laps of fuel there that he's going to have to figure out. And I do want to give a big shout out to Fernando B, our penalty master. He collected penalties better than anybody else. Congratulations. He's been a member for 27 months. And then he says, amazing what you can't type. So I'm curious what he tried to type and it wouldn't let him. As we see Diablo into the pits, he's refueling. Looks like he's changed tires. So that is the second one. And now we are getting closer to that halfway mark. I have a better feeling of Diablo making it to the end than I do Stamps. But again, you know, a little short shifting here and there, taking it easy. We could see it. But yesterday we saw, I believe, 2 drivers run out of fuel on their way to the pits. And that was definitely lost them quite a bit of time. I'm scrolling through the grid here. Everybody's pretty spread out. No battles anymore now that drivers have pitted. Again, the Group 3 cars are definitely closer together. But
I think I do see a
there.
train of cars back behind this one.
Yeah, those are the
Group 3 cars.
That's going to be a mix of Group 3 cars, and I believe a couple Group 1 cars starting to come through as we see D. Rodriguez's fuel running low as well. Truck, are you any good at fuel management? I mean,
I really haven't liked doing any kind of fuel management. When I do have to do it, I short shift. That's my technique. I really don't mess around with the in-game fuel mapping. I feel like that can be it's more stuff to do and taking your concentration off the race by going down into the fuel map, right, and trying to switch it over. That's why I just short shift. So I would probably be thinking about doing with saving some fuel for that last bit is right now save fuel for maybe 3 or 4 laps just to play it safe, and then just go hammer down the rest of the way and hope that I have enough gas at the end.
Indeed, and our Group 3 leader Maverick into the pits, needing fuel and tires. It will be interesting, yeah, and that's where the Corvette has the advantage, right, Chuck? It's a short shifting car by nature. Yeah, it has a big V8, but you're not revving it out. The Supra wants to be revved. It wants to be at high RPMs. That BMW inline 6 turbo is a beast. And so that's where cars like the Corvette and, you know, Papa's favorite, the McLaren, you're really able to short shift and save fuel. So we're going to see here, we are on board with Diablo. I have Maverick on my other screen. Maverick coming out of the pits. Diablo full speed. He has already pitted on the racing mediums. He's coming into turn 1. You can see on the radar in the bottom right-hand corner, he's getting ahead of Maverick. They're going to come out side by side. Maverick comes out just behind. Maverick unable. So the undercut proving to be strong here, as we saw yesterday. Well done to Diablo, taking the lead, and all he has to do is make it last to the end. Will the short shifting, will the fuel saving hurt him, as Maverick now on 1 lap fresher tires and not really having to worry about fuel because he knows his tank can make it to the end, Chuck?
That I do not know. You know, we just have to see how this rolls out. Like I said, the question they have to ask themselves: do I fuel save now and hope it holds out to the end of the race, or do I, you know, try to gain some track position and then short shift at the end of the race?
Indeed. And, you know, something I've learned is we see D. Rodriguez into the pits, allowing Cornbread some clear air. Florinata also in the pits, our first Group 1 driver. Drobo going in the pits at Group 3. One thing I've noticed, it's easier to fuel save at the beginning and adjust than it is to fuel save at the end. So I've always liked to fuel save, and then if I'm under pressure, adjust accordingly, versus pushing it and then coming to the end and being like, oh crap, I have to fuel save. Am I even going to make it? So this is interesting. We got quite a few drivers in the pits. I imagine we'll see Florinata, SSC, Saint all come out on the hard tires. They've clearly gone more than half the race on that tank of fuel. Arrow opting to stay out. Arrow will take the lead. He is on the racing hard. So this is where the undercut versus the overcut. Arrow will at least have this lap before he has to pit. He may be able to eke out one more lap, but I don't know how much that will work in his favor, as we've seen how strong the undercut is here at Watkins Glen.
Yes, indeed. We're seeing some more blue flags waving. So we've got the one cars here catching up to Coronado, catching up to Diablo as they enter the bus stop. Very important to nail this just right. Oh,
now
right up! No!
I've got to be honest, Chuck. I disagree with what Florinata did there. He made it work. But the middle of the bus stop is not the opportunity. Yes, Diablo was not on the optimal line. Thankfully, there was no contact, so no harm, no foul. And I think he wasn't planning on. Now that I see the replay, okay, Chuck, I see the replay. At first sight, it looked like he wanted to overtake, but then you saw him gets the Group 3 car get squirrely on that second curb, and I think that forced the issue for Florinata. So my initial take, I disagreed with it, but now that I see it, great job on both drivers, able to get it done there.
Right. It's definitely second decisions like that are what make this type of racing great, and the racers can be great, that they can make good, solid decisions like that. It happens within milliseconds in this kind of racing.
Indeed. And the offset and speed is crazy. So it looks like Arrow in the pits has allowed Florinata in. It looks like Diablo is going to overtake Cornbread as well. Saint is ahead into P2. Arrow losing out. So we're seeing that going long is not the play here. So for those in split 4, understand how strong the undercut is. Start thinking about your fuel and tire strategy, as Arrow is still in the pits. You see Saint moving on ahead of Diablo. Diablo taking the lead of Group 3. And he's sitting pretty, 3.5 seconds ahead of Maverick, both on the mediums. I mean, it's going to take some drastic fuel saving to eat up 3.5 seconds, Chuck.
Yeah, it's going to have to start saving. If he hasn't, he needs to start saving now, short shift even more. Save that. I don't know if it's going to be worth it, or if it's make him have to come into the pits again. If he's already taken care of the tire requirements, for me, I would just splash and go, and the tires hold out.
Everyone has taken the tire requirements. As we ride on board with Stamps, he is chasing down Maverick, and now we move back to Felmora, moving through the field. There's Strobo, easy enough, goes up the inside, no issues there. I'm really impressed. I'm imagining that most of these drivers did some practice races with both categories of car. A couple of years ago, I attempted to, and I did. It was successful, as you see him making up the inside of Cornbread being predictable. Nice move there. I did a couple multi-class races, and while it was so much fun, it was really difficult, and it was just for fun race, so we didn't have stewards. There weren't points involved. It was just for fun, but getting everybody on the same page. And I think as far as the community goes, the Gran Turismo community, having Jimmy and Super GT, those guys racing in real cars in real life, we all watch their videos. We're starting to get a better idea of proper race etiquette. And I know myself, I've gotten more into IMSA, I've gotten more into WEC. Several other members of the community have as well. And I believe you shared yesterday, after watching this, you're a bit more interested as well. So the more educated we can all get, the cleaner this racing is going to be. Wouldn't you say, Chuck?
Oh, definitely. Always good to broaden your horizons. All sorts of different kinds of racing out there, right? We all love cars, and we all love racing. And not only can it be fun for anybody to expand their racing palette, if you will, checking out different forms of racing, it's also educational and helps you become a better racer in the long run.
Indeed. So this is going to be interesting. So just behind Diablo, we have Felmora on the mediums, who pitted before Arrow. They were on the same strat. The hard to medium. So Filmora, 7 seconds ahead of Arrow, easily getting by the Group 3 car. That'll leave Arrow in P5 also on the mediums to have to get ahead of Diablo, and he does. So Arrow definitely trying to close that gap with slightly fresher tires. He has a little more fuel and a little bit better tires. So come the end of this race, we might see a battle for P4, assuming, oh, wow, what quick reaction from Arrow. Good on Maverick just to hold his line. I know the instinct is to try to get out of the way, but the right thing to do is to hold his line and allow Arrow to pass cleanly. The faster car should do its best to pass cleanly, especially in multi-classes. We go back on board with our leader, who's kind of just had an easy race minus the traffic. Florinata with 11.5-second lead to Saint. I don't think anybody's going to touch him, Chuck. Oh, and I believe Chuck is muted for a second, so I will continue on and talk to myself as we ride on board with Saint, who has, no, it just keeps the ebb and flow between that 11.5. I just now saw the there from Chuck. My bad for not being aware. SSC only 10.5 seconds behind. So a pretty solid gap between the two. I think it's going to make a mistake, really, which we did see towards the end of the race. As these drivers' tires start to wear, I think it'll be less with the hard tire drivers. We saw how durable the hards are. I think, honestly, if it weren't for fuel, you could go a full hour on these hards pretty easily. It wouldn't be the fastest, and you can see the time difference there. If you look back before Filmora pitted, when they were on the hards, he did a 136. And since then, he's been down to a 132. So very easily done from these drivers, figuring out the difference between the hards and the mediums. And that's another thing, you know, a lot of us practice on the faster compound because that's what we qualify on, right? And I believe in qualifying, the drivers were actually allowed to use the racing softs. Correct me if I'm wrong, but based on the times we were seeing, I believe we saw some drivers in the Group 1 cars get down to a 129. That would have definitely been on the softs. So while the soft isn't necessarily a viable racing compound, we did see it a couple times yesterday. A lot of drivers have done practice. I'm curious how many did practice on the hards. Chuck, you really like the GTWS, the Manu, the Nations. I know you're big into that, and hopefully you have the energy to do a race tonight. When you practice those and there's multiple tire compounds, do you find yourself practicing on both?
I actually prefer, when I do my practices, to just do a bunch of hot laps in practice mode, just to learn the track and practice it as much as I can. What I will do in leading up to it is I will quickly watch other people and see what they did and see how the strategy worked out for them. So we're just doing a little bit of recon. And Shaggy's been really good about this in our little community of, you know, doing things before some of us even get a chance to do it, and giving us some tips and saying, like, hey, you're, for instance, for today's race, if I'm still able to, as you said, have the energy for it, is you're gonna you get about 8 good laps out of the tires in this upcoming GTWS Manufacturers Cup event. And he reconfirmed it before we started the streaming here. He looked into the GT2 race he did, and he's running Ferrari, and he confirmed with one of the Porsches that he was competing against and saw what they did, and it's about the same. Because, you know, the tire wear is going to be different across different cars, and Porsche has always been notoriously good on tires.
Well, I'm going to cut you off here as we're on board with Rodriguez. You can see in that rearview mirror how big VIP got looming on him. It looks like Rodriguez didn't get the best exit out of the final corner, which allowed Cornbread a great run into turn 1. And turn 1 is probably one of the most crucial corners. As you can see, Cornbread getting the toe and the better exit, and T. Rodriguez, nothing he can do but fall back and bow down to the power of the BMW Supra. You know, sometimes cylinders isn't where it's at. It's about how the manufacturer is able to tune the vehicle. And Toyota has taken that BMW and done a superior tune on it. Because if you compare any other BMW with that same engine, it's got about 50 less horsepower than the Toyota road car does. So Toyota knows what they're doing, and you saw it there. It's just a matter of, can Cornbread make his car last? And he's got plenty of fuel left. Cornbread has no issues making it last. Stamps up ahead, leading the way, and Maverick continuing in P2. Diablo leading the way in the Group 3 in P5. Very nicely done. Excellent driving. We've had some shakeups here. I'm going to pull up the original grid order. Bear with me 1 second. So looking at split 2, Group 3, right? Excuse me. So Drobo started on pole. Then we had Diablo. Then Cornbread. Then Maverick. Then D. Rodriguez. Then Stamps. So the order has completely changed in Group 3. Group 1 has, for the most part, stayed the same. Saint has gotten ahead of SSC, and Felmora has gotten ahead of Arrow. So a couple flip-flops there in the Group 1. I think that has more to do with when they pitted and how strong the undercut is. And for those watching who aren't super familiar with racing, there's something called an undercut and an overcut in racing. Certain tracks and certain cars do better with an overcut or an undercut. So an undercut is when you pit before your competitor. So say your competitor's pitting on lap 8. You know what? If the undercut's strong at this track, you pit on lap 7. And because you're going to pit on lap 7 and come out in better condition than the driver you're competing with, they're going to do a slower lap on their in lap to the pits. You're going to do a faster out lap. So you will end up passing them while they're in the pits. Whereas some tracks, an overcut works, where if you pit early, the advantage really isn't there, and it actually, you end up passing if you pit late and you come out of the pits ahead of the person that pits early. As we see this great battle between VIP Cornbread and Stamps, and we got D. Rodriguez just behind, but a Group 1 car is coming into play. We see the blue flags waving. I'm going to go and look and see what that Group 1 car is. That is Saints in P2. We see him dive up the inside. Now he's got Cornbread and Stamps. Can he get by before turn 1? Yes, he can, but Cornbread is going to go for the move. Cornbread is in P8. Cornbread up the inside. Very nicely done. Getting it done on Stamps and using that to his advantage. Cornbread up to P3 on the Group 3 cars, Chuck.
Yeah, that was definitely a very interesting, very exciting moment. And when you've got this multi-class racing going on, you got a faster car coming behind you to make a pass. If you're in a battle with somebody, you can actually use that to your advantage a variety of ways. It adds a whole new variable to what's going on around you that you can capitalize on and make that pass.
Indeed, and one thing I've learned and actually have used to my advantage in this type of racing, and Papa has joined us on this, going to the 24 Hours of Daytona and watching at turn 1 how the quicker cars, the LMP2s and the GTP cars, will use the slower cars to make it so another driver can't get past them. So for example, if you have a driver right on your tail going into T1, but you also have 2 Group 3 cars, you can get ahead and cut across, and the car behind has nowhere to go, and they end up getting a slower run and into traffic. So there is a strategy of being able to use the slower cars around you to essentially cut off the person chasing you. And it's really fun to see as we ride on board with SSC, who would love to get back up into P2. That was very close to a pen. We saw it yesterday, and he just barely keeps it within track limits. Well done to SSC, but 14 seconds behind Saint. All 3 drivers on the tires. I don't think with 13 and a half minutes remaining, I don't know how he's going to catch him. And Stamps back in the pits. Your thoughts on this, Chuck?
Yeah, I really don't know. He's needing some extra gas to get him across the line, I guess.
Yep.
Uh,
That's a lot of
does
fuel that he's
cost him-
taking.
Mhm.
I don't.
Oh, man.
Maybe he didn't pay attention because he's only got 13 minutes left. Yep, I'm baffled, but hey, good on you. Things happen, mistakes are made, and I'm curious. Maybe he comes out on the softs, but still, the full tank of fuel baffles me. But I will say, how many times have you either clicked no fuel when you needed it, took more fuel, or picked the wrong tires, Chuck?
It's happened to me more times than I'd like to admit. I think I mentioned it last night when it comes to the I think it was Nations Cup or Manufacturers Cup, and at Nürburgring GP, I put the wrong darn tires on, intermediates on, and I didn't realize it for a couple laps, and then I kind of realized, you know what, park it. I just got done working a 12-hour shift, and I was already exhausted, and I'm like, you know what? But yeah, going back to what you were talking about, T-Case, about using other cars as a strategy to block things. They talked about this in NASCAR recently, actually. That's actually, in some ways, penalized now regarding cars coming out of the pits, and they would deliberately position themselves so that the front runner cars would have to serpentine through them. And it's definitely on oval racing. It's much more of a safety hazard.
Yeah, that's very dangerous.
Yeah, and NASCAR had to step in and say, if you do this, we're going to penalize you.
Oh, Papa, if you can go to P4 and trigger a replay and go all the way back, Felmora had a close call here. Watch this, if we can get a chase cam. You see Diablo up there. Diablo not sure where to go, and I think he thinks he wants to get out of the way, and he ends up running a bit wide. And good on Felmora to catch that and not really lose any time. I don't think Diablo did anything wrong. He was holding his line. I think it was a little bit more of just not being aware that Felmora was still continuing on the outside there. But yeah, Chuck, you're right. When it comes to oval racing, the safety's a lot different on oval racing, and that's something I've learned over the years of starting to follow a little bit of oval racing. I appreciate the difficulty. I appreciate just what it is. It's not my cup of tea, but I definitely appreciate it for what it is, and I can see how that is definitely difficult, especially when those cars are not set up to weave. They really aren't.
Yeah.
Even when, they have a completely different setup when they're on road courses, and even that setup is sketchy. So I can see how that is. But when it comes to IMSA and WEC, as we see Cornbread and Arrow, coming in there, Cornbread opting to take the inside, he gets ahead. There, Arrow gets ahead of Cornbread, and now who does he have up ahead? He has Maverick. What's Maverick going to do? Maverick allows him, opens the door, runs a little bit wide, and that could allow Cornbread again. And that's another factor to consider. While the faster cars are worried, sometimes the faster cars coming through can slow down the Group 3 cars and allow their competitors to catch back up, just like the Group 1 cars getting slowed down by the Group 3 can allow their competitors to get back up. But it looks like Cornbread and Maverick is our closest battle on track, as we are now 9.5 minutes left. I don't think any pit stops are left. Any predictions here for you, Chuck?
I really don't know. I can't, there's so much going on. It's hard to keep up, and that's a great thing. We got so much action going all over the track. You just kind of wait and see what people's positions are in as this time ticks down with less than, we're hitting the 9 minutes to go mark. I have a feeling it's going to be a real interesting end to this race. Maybe, some, close battles, but also just seeing the strategy and how it's going to pay off. I hope somebody doesn't pull what happened to Ryan Blaney a couple years back, where he was about to win the race, and last turn, last lap, he runs out of gas. That was a heartbreaker for me as a Ryan Blaney fan.
We saw it yesterday. It's definitely a possibility. I will say, so Diablo, currently in P6, leading Group 3, his front left tire, I don't know that he's got 8 minutes left. I honestly
he's got
don't.
Maybe 2 laps left on that thing.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So we're going to see Diablo in the pits. Drobo in P10. He's looking better than Diablo, but not much. But he's got more fuel as well. So, you know, honestly, I know that the tire model has changed, and it does. Especially all these right-handers are going to be extremely difficult. This is a predominantly right-hand turn track. It's going to make it tough on that front left. Drobo, maybe I would be able to make it to the end. I don't really know Drobo. Are you familiar with Drobo, Chuck?
I want to say I've seen him in TWS events or maybe in lobbies.
Okay.
I recognize the name, but nothing jumps out at me. So that's definitely a good thing. You know, if I see a name, I definitely remember you. It's like in my line of work. If I know your name, either for something really, really good or something really, really bad.
Well, and so, I mean, he's in split 2. One thing I want to point out, the way this is done, I said it at the beginning of the stream, you qualify, and that determines your split. Split 1 qualifying was insane. Split 1 is alien level, y'all. Split 2 is really, really good. So we at least know that all these drivers are really, really good. They might not be alien level, or they're alien level and this just wasn't a combo for them, or they had a bad lap. But I really appreciate the way Shaggy does this. It's different from every other league, and it really does it puts the drivers in the right split based on the combo. As we have a yellow flag, P8 Maverick. I don't know if we can get a replay. He's currently P9. Let's see what happens here. Riding on board with Maverick in the Corvette. He's trying to chase down Cornbread. And you can see in this tight left-hander, gets on the curb and on the loud pedal just a bit much. And that's so easy to do there and so difficult to catch. Unfortunate, as we do see, as we were talking earlier, Diablo has gone into the pits. Drobo stays out. Drobo able to collect P9. And where will Stamps be? Stamps too far behind to make up a penalty. Stamps is the only one to opt for the 2-stop. Well, now Diablo now on the 2-stop, but he's coming out on the softs. So he's coming out on the softs. How far back is he going to be from Drobo? 15 seconds with just under 6 minutes to go. I think is too much, unless Drobo ends up having to take a pit.
Yeah, that does seem like a bit too much, but we've seen crazier things happen. It's racing, right?
Indeed. And while we stay on board with Drobo on these racing softs, I expect he won't set a fastest lap for Group 3, or I'm sorry, that was Diablo. So yeah, let's stay on board with Drobo. Sorry, Papa, I'm back and forth. I can't make up my mind. You're doing a great job though. 5 minutes. I think he's coming into the pits. I don't see how he salvages this. He's only just over 3 seconds behind Maverick. He can see Maverick, but that front left is wearing, and he's got a lot of traffic coming through.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see if he comes into the pits. I'm going to talk briefly. I'm just looking through the field. Florinata is 9.5 seconds ahead of Saint. We can see Saint right there getting ahead of Drobo. Ecstasy is 19 seconds behind Saint. Velmora, however, is only 1.2 seconds to Ecstasy. Velmora on the mediums. Velmora in P4. His mediums are worn. Ecstasy in P3 on the hards with plenty of tire left. It does look like Drobo is going to stay out. So the closest battle right now is Velmora in P4 on Ecstasy. So interesting to see. But you can see also Velmora's tires looking very similar to Drone's.
Yes, definitely. It's coming down towards the end of the race. Everybody's tires are worn. They're going to have to be extra careful going through these turns to make sure they don't oversteer or understeer into the wall, especially the understeer part, as these tires do wear down, and cause drivers to have to make some adjustments to keep the car between the ditches.
Indeed, and while we're seeing this lap traffic, look out, Diablo, good job. I will say, even though Filmora's on these worn mediums, he's putting in the same lap times as Saint as Ecstasy on the hards. So the worn mediums and the good hards seem to be roughly about the same pace. So it's just going to be a matter of can SSC, basically, Phil Morris got to hope SSC makes a mistake. But it's going to get more and more difficult for him to move forward as his tires begin to wear. As we're approaching the 3-minute mark, which should allow for about 2 more laps, depending on where Florinata crosses the line. Should be interesting to see. So we ride back on board with Drobo. I guess he's going to stay out, and he might as well. There's no point in pitting now. I think a crash is less time than a pit stop, and he's got a really good gap on Rodriguez. So that's good. And our leader in Group 3, Cornbread, didn't see this coming. Cornbread started P3. Good on him to get ahead of both Drobo and Diablo, making it work quite nicely.
Yes, indeed. As he dives down into the bus stop here, he feathers the throttle on exit. All right, folks, I'm looking around a cat, trying to see the screen. My kitty's crawling all over in front of me. Daddy, daddy, daddy. Taking the vet through with Rodriguez. Long sweeping right-hander here. Blue flag coming up, so we got some Group 1 cars coming up behind him. And
Yes, that would be SSC and Arrow.
We've got Felmora coming up on D. Rodriguez here, coming up to the tricky uphill right-hander, as I always call it, up in the marbles. So he's got to be real careful and gentle on that throttle coming out of there. Looks like he got a little sideways there. Got Felmora still passing cars, trying to catch Ecstasy. Or no,
we are.
Way out there, out in front, 13-second lead. Running away with this.
Really excellent. They are solid in it. I'd like to see them in Split 1 next week. They seem to have the chops for it.
Definitely, definitely. But it goes back to what you were saying too. Certain car and track combos favor, different driver styles and what they like to race at. Like I really liked a couple of years back when I got my first win at the I think it was the Nations Cup a couple years back at it was the Sirocco's Group 4 cars at Dragon Trail. For whatever reason, I loved driving that car around Dragon Trail and managed to pick up a win there. So it's comes down to driver preferences and style, and you're going to be good at some combinations and not good at other combinations. All right, so room for improvement.
Indeed. If we can go back to P3 of Ecstasy, he's approaching the penalty line. He's got a half-second penalty. Belmora had an issue in the bus stop. Belmora was much closer, but that tire wear is hurting him as we are running out of time. And Florinata, is he going to get across the line in time for another lap in P1? And he finishes the race. That's it for Florinata. Cornbread is far off the it finish, so it's going to be all Group 1 finishing this race. Saint should be the next across the line. Felmora unable to catch Ecstasy. Then we got Ecstasy. Can he keep it together? He's got Felmora just behind, taking all the track limits, kicking up the grass, pretending to be a lawnmower. Ecstasy rounding out our podium. PHG on the tops, or on the steps. Felmora in P4. That'll bring PHG Arrow as he gets past Maverick in P8. And Cornbread winning Group 3. Very nicely done. Arrow across the line. D. Rodriguez will be coming across the line. You see him right there. D. Rodriguez coming in 3rd. Arrow coming in 5th. Maverick coming in 4th. Diablo will be 5th in Group 3 with Drobo just behind in 6th. And Stamps with the unfortunate strategy coming in last in the Group 3 and in race. Well, that was exciting. We saw some differences. I think it is official that at Watkins Glen, the undercut is the way.
The way. The way indeed.
Right, indeed. But shout out to all these drivers who, all 3 races, there were little incidents here and there, and of course there's netcode, there's all that stuff. But overall, Just some top-notch driving, splits 1 through 3 so far.
Oh, definitely.
Very
You know,
nicely done.
yeah, lots of awareness of what's going on around you. So props to our first multi-class race weekend. As you want me to go through the results, or
Yeah,
do you want to
please
do it,
do.
Chase?
Please do.
All right. So in first place, we've got Florinota in the Audi. In second place, we've got Saint. Actually, all of them are Audis. And third place is PHG's own Ecstasy. Fourth is Felmora. And then fifth place is PHG's own Arrow. Sixth, we've got VIP Cornbread in the Supra. Seventh and eighth, we've got D. Rodriguez and Maverick, respectively, in their Corvettes. 5 laps down. RTR Diablo in the Supra in P9. In P10, we've got Drobo also in the Supra. And in P11, we've got RTR Stamps also in the Supra.
Awesome. 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 Well, what a great race. And we have one more for y'all.
Yes, indeed.
Very, very incredible. Very incredible. Any thoughts on what we saw here, Chuck?
Yeah, once again, just it's really exciting watching multi-class racing. I started picking it up a little bit myself, dipping my feet into IMSA and WEC, and crazy the amount of skill you have to have and the awareness of all the drivers to make sure that they're operating fast but safe. And it's showing how good our community is here in how they are conducting themselves in this multi-class racing. I think is great.
Absolutely, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. That was a blast to watch. We had a few battles in the group 3, not so much in the group 1, but just watching everybody navigate the lap traffic really is exciting in and of itself. So we need to pick a driver of the race, and I'll let you start with that, Chuck, if you don't mind.
Let's see. I'm having a hard time picking Flor. I can't. It's how did he pronounce his
Florinata.
name? Florinata. I don't know if it's going to be him because of just staying out front and really having his strategy on point. Or and who's our group 3 winner again?
That would have been cornbread.
I think I might have to go with Cornbread on this one, and just really being really aware of all of the Group 1 cars around him and still being able to hang on, pull off the win. I'm going to go with Cornbread on this one.
Yeah, I
Oh,
actually
Holland.
would. I was going to say cornbread as well. He moved up several positions. Um, I think we should put Florinata on the pole. I think they deserved it. They dominated, and then I'm going to say Saint. Saint moving up one position, making that undercut work for him, and coming out quite far ahead of Ecstasy. So we got cornbread, we got Florinata, we got Saint, and then I'll say one more, and that's going to be D. Rodriguez, who started in P4 and got his way up to P2. So very solid, very solid. I believe we're going to get a poll up. Okay, we got a poll up with cornbread, Florinata, Saint. That's perfect. Vote for your driver of this race. We're going to take a break and give us a minute. We got some commercials to show you because we have awesome sponsors. And then we're going to come back for split 4. Check Discord. I believe there are some spots open. Shaggy will most likely be handling that. And we will see y'all shortly for split 4. Thank you.
Transforms your home into a place of chaos, where everything that could go wrong does. This is the world of Paul Davis Restoration, where our experts are ready, trained, and equipped to restore your home, to make things right. Paul Davis Property Restoration Experts. When things go wrong, we do what's right.
Strap in, feel the hum in your hands. This is 4D. Heat on my palms, grip locked, heart racing. Shoes hit the pedal, whole room shaking. Jersey on my back, hair full on blazing. Every turn I take, got the ghosts I'm chasing. 4D in my veins, feel that fire when I play, when I move, when I break, when I bang through the lane. 4D on my skin, when I lose, when I win, I'm alive in the light of the game I'm in. 4D, 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 it's different. Yeah, that's winning. Grit in my voice, baseline under my breath, glove print stamped on the wheel like a crest. I don't just play, I live it. Every stitch says get it. From the couch to the checkered, I'm the storm when I wear it. 4D in my veins. Different. It's different. Yeah. 4D racewear. Let them feel you drive.
Be right back, don't move! PHG World Series Season 4!
Watch the lanes, hold the line.
One more lap, then we fly.
Engines fading in the hall, hands still shaking from the call. Tires hot, the clocks stay mean. Every split cuts clean.
PHG!
PHG,
Hold that roar in your chest. PHG!
PHG,
We're coming back for the rest. PHG! PHG!
take the lead,
PHG! PHG!
chase the speed.
One more round, we're
Back inside.
PHG! PHG! Burn tonight!
we're almost there.
Hold your line, hold your fire.
PHG in the air.
Season 4, take it higher, higher, higher.
Pit lane, open wide, tires fresh, hearts alive. Fuel up, lock and tight, we'll be back in a minute's time. Grid map, clean and bright, gloves on, set for flight. Keep that spark in view, the next green flag's coming soon. Hands up, don't drift away, we're just on a short delay. Eyes up, stay with the ride, we'll hit that track on the other side.
PHG, PHG, be right back with me. PHG, PHG, keep that energy. PHG, PHG, feel that heartbeat rise. PHG, PHG, we're back in a flash tonight. Curbs cut, apex call, heat is thick and the pace won't stall. Crowd sound, wave by wave, every lap got a name to save.
Blue flags, clean pass through, fresh rubber, nothing to lose. Stay tuned, don't fade out, we're almost ready to scream it out. Hands up, don't drift away, we're just on a short delay. Eyes up, stay with the ride, we'll hit that track on the other side. PHG, PHG,
Be right back with me.
PHG, PHG,
Keep that energy.
PHG, PHG,
Feel that heartbeat rise.
PHG, PHG.
We're back in a flash tonight. Yeah, keep it locked. You know what time it is. PHG World Series Season 4. When we return, it's full send. No chill, just wheels.
Don't go far. Stay where you are. Drums roll, spirits climb. We're crossing back in perfect time. PHG, PHG,
Be right back with me.
PHG, PHG,
Keep that energy.
PHG, PHG,
Feel that heartbeat rise.
PHG, PHG.
We're back in a flash tonight.
Hold that tear,
Keep it near.
PHG is here.
We're back. We're back. Be right back. Don't move. PHG World Series Season 4.
Watch the lanes, hold the line.
One more lap, then we fly.
Engines fading in the hall, hands still shaking from the call. Tires hot, the clocks stay mean. Every split cuts clean.
PHG,
PHG,
hold that roar in your chest. PHG,
PHG.
we're coming back for the rest. PHG, PHG,
Take the lead.
PHG. Oh yeah.
driving. I think some of those drivers we might start seeing in Split 1, wouldn't you say, Chuck?
Oh, definitely. It definitely takes time to keep practicing to get up to that split one top tier level. But all you got to do is just stick at it and keep practicing, working on your racecraft and working on your technique and how you do things. And eventually, you too could be in split one of the PHG World Series.
Indeed. Did I miss something? I don't see the poll. Is the poll closed, Papa? Let's see who won that driver of the race here. But very good driving at the Watkins Glen from Split 2. We got Split 4 coming up, which had a bunch of open spots, and I believe we got a variety of people who have already raced hopping in here, which will be very fun to see. I see at least three top split drivers in here, so that's going to be fun. I see a split 3 driver in here, and there we go. The poll is closed, and Cornbread takes the driver of split 2. Congratulations to Cornbread, and thank you so much, Aero GT7, for the $10 dono shags. This is awesome. Can't wait for the next one, and I wholeheartedly agree. As a spectator, I'm thoroughly enjoying watching these races. Before we get started, we do need to thank our sponsors one more time. Let's take a look at that. All right, and thank you to our sponsors. Again, apologies with the audio stuff. We are working through a lot of kinks, and unfortunately, season 4 fell at a time that it seems like every single one of us in the production has a lot going on, and we just haven't had the time to work out all the kinks. And actually, honestly, we thought we had all the kinks worked out, but it seems like when you go live, the kinks continue to come. So
The
that,
gremlins
yeah,
get
the
in.
gremlins, exactly. I chased so many gremlins last night, you wouldn't believe. I know Papa is behind the scene chasing gremlins. If y'all have ever tried to do this yourself, you it is so stressful and difficult. And once you go live, it makes it very difficult to make any changes. So thank you for tuning in. Again, please do like and subscribe. That helps a lot. Papa is the proprietor. That's whose channel we're on. Without him, none of this would be happening. And we will be very grateful. And I see here Cornbread is going to be taking GT1 for the last spot. So when setting the grid, put Cornbread in the last spot for GT1. That being said, let's go into the round info to remind y'all what we're doing here today for our final race of the afternoon. We are at Watkins Glen yet again. This is an endurance race, 60 minutes, 3X tire wear, racing hards, racing mediums required. Fuel is 3X, 3 liters per second. Drivers can use the GT1 2016 cars or the NASCAR Cup Group 3 cars. That would be the Dodge Viper, the Chevy Corvette, the Ford Mustang, or the Toyota Supra. And then we can go ahead and take a look at our splits, which won't be quite accurate because we have a lot of people filling in those empty spots. But let's take a look anyways. For split 3 or split 4. Yeah, there we go. So we know for a fact we got Wether and Jersey. Wether has already raced. Jersey has not. Group 3, we know we have Nasty, Iron Flux, Metal, Elzo, Dirt McGirt. It's Just Casual, who did Group 1 yesterday. And let me see, who else do I see here in the lobby? Messi making a repeat in the Group 1. I see Will's brother in Group 1. I see London. I see France. I see It's Just Carl in his underpants in the Supra. We got Stumpy in here who missed yesterday, so Stumpy's hopping in. So a few drivers coming in to fill the lobby. This should be interesting because based on how qualifying's done, some of these drivers are definitely going to be quicker than most, but it doesn't look like really any times were set. So this should be a fun one, a chance for people to hone their skills, if you will. A lot of these drivers repeating it again. Chuck, if you had done one of these earlier races and you saw that there was opening splits, A, would you hop back in? And B, would you change what group you were driving, or would you stick with it?
I would stick with whatever I practiced with just because it's hard to change up your style for a particular track if you've been practicing over and over and over in one group of car versus and then switching over to a faster or slower car. Does that make sense? Your muscle memory is going to be different.
Right.
So if it was me, I would just hold what I got.
Right. We're gonna start off. Hey Chuck, if you don't mind, do you wanna lead us through the start of this race?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. Take it away, man.
All sitting here waiting for the start. Get everything loaded up on screen here. We're about to go bowling at the Glen. We approach the start-finish line. We go and the lights are out and we are racing, folks. Dan leads the pack down into turn 1. We're going to cut that just so and use all of the available track out there. We see some dancing around further back in the pack as they head up the hill, wide open throttle. Excuse me. As they approach the infamous bus stop. One car is obviously spacing out against the group of 3 cars. All of that downforce to scream through that bus stop into the sweeping right-hander here, the carousel. Power back on as we get ready to take this downhill left-hander. Little braking here, down through the gears and back on the power. And coming up into the tricky uphill right-hander. Got to be easy on the gas here because the tires are cold and that back end will step out on you if you're not careful.
Indeed. I'm looking back here at the Group 3. Only one driver using the mediums, and that's Metal. Everybody else on the hards. Looking through the field at our Group 1 drivers, I see Better Dan mediums, Jersey mediums, Messi mediums, Mr. Racing mediums, Will's brother, the only one. Oh no, Will's brother and Cornbread both on the hards in the back. So a bit of a mix of strategy up there for the Group 1s, but almost everybody on the Group 3 is on the same page. I do see some drama. Oh, P7.
Oh, no.
Or now, I'm sorry. It is currently, where are you? P13. P13, if we can get a replay of Nasty, who is leading the pack. And we can see Iron Fix is indeed letting him back by. So there must have been an incident. P3rd, or keep going back if we can. There we go. So Iron Fix and Nasty coming together, unfortunately. And good sportsmanship from Iron Fix, allowing Nasty back through. We appreciate that. We know mistakes happen. This is split 4, so the points aren't really on offer here. So good sportsmanship there, and they're going to continue on racing.
Always love to see big sports. Now, when we had the, I think it was the mock 24 hours in Le Mans a couple years back, I remember I participated in, and somebody too accidentally got into me in one of the early sectors. Is the Jersey get off track a little bit there? They hang on to it.
Okay. Also losing a position. That's allowed Dirt McGirt and It's Just Carl to move their way up, as we see Jersey now picking up a penalty. But we do have a good battle if we can go back to P7 through P10. Good battle in the Group 3 cars. Metal leading the way.
Yo. Here comes Allah. I believe he's in that, didn't he?
Yes. You can see here on board with Stumpy in the chunky Supra. He's just bringing up the back. He is on the hards as we see up ahead. Elzo going for a move on It's Just Carl. We know these FAF boys are quick. Late on the brakes, he's able to send it up the inside and able to get the move done, not having to push It's Just Carl wide. And that has allowed Stumpy to get a better run than Carl, giving him a bump. And that is going to give It's Just Carl a little bit of run here as we come up to the bus stop, and we will see if that's enough speed or if he's going to back out. We saw in split 2 a lot of drivers being patient this early on. We're only 4.5 minutes into this race, and sure enough, Carl backs out of it, allowing FAF Elzo plenty of room to go forward. So just like last race, Group 3 pretty tight. Except for Nasty and Iron Fix, who had that incident, but they are both close together as well. And Better Dan in the Group 1 leading the way. But this battle for Group 3, very compelling stuff. I'm curious how patient everybody's going to be. It seems like Elzo isn't being very patient as he made that move on Carl. And look at that. You see Stumpy there getting a bit of a better rotation than Carl did. And now you see up ahead Elzo trying to make a move. He's going to go around the outside of Dirt McGirt, and he's going to make it work. And that's going to give him, wow, he doesn't even need the inside as Dirt McGirt wants to go back at him. Ooh, a little bit of contact there for Dirt as he goes up the inside, but he backs out of it, letting Elzo continue on. But that has brought It's Just Carl into the building. And now Carl's going to have the inside, and Dirt McGirt has nothing to do about it. And there's Stumpy now brought into the play. No time to breathe here, Chuck.
No time at all. You know, I've raced against Carl before, and he is an aggressive but clean driver. You always need to be on the lookout for him, and if you're door to door with him, he's going to run you hard, but he'll run you clean.
Indeed, as we go back up with our Group 1 drivers, you can see Messi in P4 ahead of Will's brother and Cornbread, trying to catch Jersey. Messi on the mediums, Jersey also on the medium, so equal tire compounds. The only drivers on the hard for the Group 1 is Will's brother and Cornbread, so they're on a different strat. But again, Chuck, it seems to be starting on the softer compound is the way to go because the undercut is so strong.
Yeah, I agree. These guys have been able to see 3 other races and saw that the undercut is indeed the way to go here. And they're all adapting whatever strategy they may have had that might have been different to what seems to be the most effective strategy to finish well in an epic race.
Indeed. Well, right on board with Wether Dan, who was in the Corvette, now in the Audi here, taking that bus stop with no problems, keeping it tight, using all the track. I think that's a key thing. Something I've been learning in doing autocross, which they set up a cone track, is, you know, you don't want to just drive and use all the track. You want to push the car to the edge of the track. So there's no sense if you're right here and the car isn't pushing to the outside, as we see, looks like Iron Fix may pick up a penalty for that as he's chasing down Nasty. There's no sense in driving out there, but you want to push the car out there as you see him again push it wide. So it's all about using the track to push the car to its absolute limits. Unfortunate for Iron Fix running a bit wide there, going over track limits. And we see Stumpy has dropped back almost 5 seconds from Dirt McGirt. I don't see any damage. Stumpy is on the hard tires compared to Dirt McGirt, who is also on the hard tires. So no advantage or disadvantage there, just a mishap. As you can see, it's just Carl now catching Elza, who has a penalty. So if just Carl doesn't make the move here into the bus stop, we know he's going to get it done at the penalty line, which will bring Dirt McGirt back into play, because he's only 2 seconds behind Elza here. As they go into the carousel, this long right-hander, you use that I Love New York sign as an acceleration point. That's when you know you can get on the throttle. This turn is tricky. Multiple lines you can actually take through here, as we've seen many times. You can just see the run. It's just Carl's getting on Elzo. Elzo now coming into what you refer to as that tricky corner. And it is tricky getting on the power. The back end wants to step out. Here Elzo goes serving the penalty. Dirt McGirt, will he be able to get ahead as well? No, he is too far back. He's fallen way back. Dirt McGirt struggling to keep up with them. And you can see now Wether Dan catching the lap traffic. What will we see here as Wether Dan continues on? It won't take long for him to make easy work of these guys. It would be nice if he can catch them all on the straights, as he has Mr. Racing only at 1.5 seconds behind. This could be in Mr. Racing's favor, depending on how this lap traffic pays off. Mr. Racing able to go up the inside of Dirt McGirt. Ooh. Dirt McGirt into the wall a little bit. There's Mr. Racing seeing Wether Dan weaving, trying to get slipstream. Wether Dan goes up the inside. Wether Dan gets it done. Elzo there, and there he goes. Mr. Racing making it work and getting ahead of It's Just Carl. He's now got the gap down to 1.1 seconds. It was 1.5. Now it's down to 1.1. This is looking good for Mr. Racing Chuck.
Oh, yes, it is indeed. Lots of action going on right here with the 1 cars catching up to the 3 cars. You think it might be a good time to maybe crank it up, guys?
I think we should try to crank it up.
Let's crank it up. We are back after letting you hear those cars' engines sing the song of their people.
Indeed. And you know what? As we saw Mr. Racing and Better Dan battling it out. Further back, P5 and P6. Oh, never mind. Let's stay back on with. Sorry, Papa. I was wrong here because Mr. Racing, 0.3 seconds. We might see a move going into the bus stop. Hold on to your butts, everybody. You guys don't know, but we were talking about. Oh, now I forgot his name. Anyways, let's keep Jeff Goldblum,
Yeah,
the quoter of "Hold on to your butts," and we're seeing that here between Better Dan and Mr. Racing. But Better Dan able to hold on. Chuck, do you have like on this track? Where do you look to overtake, or do you just take what you can get, or do you have a? Yeah,
I just, whenever I'm driving, unless it's really, really bad, I always try to just take what I can get and capitalize where I can and when I can. Like I've mentioned before, staying in somebody's rearview mirror and trying to capitalize on any mistake they make. But if I may, point of order, I think the "hold on to your butts" said by Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, does he say that too? I know Jeff Goldblum says it at some point. But yeah, you're right. He does say it. Hold on, because that's when he flips the switch in Jurassic Park.
Right.
Yep.
Isn't that the only movie that Samuel L. Jackson was in? Very interesting.
It's one of them. It's one of them. So yeah, we saw there Cornbread catching up to Will's brother. Doing good. Metal continuing to lead the way in Group 3. It's just Carl having a better go of it at the Group 3 cars.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, Chuck, you are 100% right. Samuel L. Jackson says, "Hold on to your butts." Jeff Goldblum says, "Must go faster."
Yeah, there we go.
He says it both in Jurassic Park and in Independence Day.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Got my quotes mixed up. But Cornbread in P6 is catching Will's brother going into the bus stop. So Will's brother is thinking, "Must go faster, must go faster." There we go. I did it.
Yes, indeed.
As we are about to approach the 46-minute mark with, or 14-minute mark with 46 minutes remaining. It's amazing. It seems like the start of this race is kind of slow, and then the pit stops happen, and then the next thing we know, the race is over. Because the pit stops really shake it up. We know the undercut is strong. We know that all but 2 drivers in the Group 1 cars are on mediums, so they will have the undercut. They will be pitting ideally before Will's brother and Cornbread. So that's going to be a tricky stint for them. It's just a matter of when and how you can manage your fuel. I think everyone underestimated fuel management of this race because they knew they had to stop. So they were like, "Why should I care about fuel?" But as we've seen, it's Shaggy. That's one of the things. Shaggy's races on paper look just like anything else. But then when they play out, if you don't do the practice, they clearly aren't your typical daily. They clearly aren't your typical GTWS. There's more to it, and it shows who does the practice and who does the work. And one great thing we were talking about earlier about the PHG community, the PHG members are not gatekeepers. You can go ask the fastest driver what they're doing, and they will help you. That's a great part about this community, is the willingness to share and, just try to make everybody better. As we see Cornbread slowly growing on Will's brother, do you think we get an overtake on this next lap, Joe?
I think we might see one, maybe in the next couple turns, because he's got some higher speed sections. But things get different with these one cars because of how fast they are and how aerodynamic they are. And I think we might see one coming up towards the start and finish. Or at least yeah,
it is
Saudi going on.
Good point, Chuck. Good point. I did not realize that. I'm just so out of touch with Group 1 because I really don't enjoy downforce. They all look the same to me. But that is a difference.
It's unique or interesting or antithetical, because you've talked before about how I'm the same way when it comes to watching racing. I like watching cars that look at least close to their production models, right? But when it comes to sim racing, it would appear that I tend to do better in higher downforce cars rather than I do with the production based.
You're right.
How that works out.
I get that. I get that. You can see we had several battles here in Group 3 as Iron Fix gets a little squirrely on Nasty. There's a great battle between Stumpy and Dirt McGirt. There's a great battle between Nasty and Iron Fix as you see them battling side by side, Stumpy and Dirt trying to make it. And look, in the background, Iron Fix and Nasty's going side by side. I don't know if we can snag a replay real quick of that, but they were definitely too wide going into that corner. Let's see this again. You can see Nasty runs wide there. That allows Iron Fix to get ahead, and then into this, he runs a bit wide, but no, he keeps the lead ahead, and that is Iron Fix ahead of Nasty. Great racing between the two Supers, Chuck.
Oh, yes, definitely. Mistakes are going to start happening as we get longer into this race. Talked about before how Shaggy's races tend to be more than what they seem, and I think a lot of that has to do with they tend to be longer than your standard dailies and or the point series, the various point series, the polyphony digital that's out there. So along with that comes just the mental wear of race, dragging on and tire wear happening, and mistakes end up getting made, and the driver behind you will certainly capitalize on it.
Indeed, just looking to pick up on mistakes and being patient. And a big thank you to Tweak Morrison, sent one gifted membership for Papa's House of Games, and that membership went to Hunter Biden Slap Tops. All right, I actually know a Hunter Biden in real life, not related to the former president.
Fair enough.
And then we got Will's brother picking up a half-second penalty. This is boding well for Cornbread, as he is within a half second. So that should be easy work, assuming he can get through these turns. Runs a bit wide there, but keeping the power down. These cars are so planted with that downforce. It doesn't seem like the dirty air affects them too much. Not quite like some of the other cars, but I'm not in there driving the car. I can't feel how things are going. But there we go. That's Will's brother serving the penalty. I will say, here at Watkins Glen, it's a generous penalty because it's so short and you're coming out of one turn to go into another. So a half second really isn't too bad. You can see he was over a half second ahead, and now he's only, just a half a second, maybe a little more behind Cornbread, picking what gear you're in. And also look at that. As we said, one's in the Toyota, one's in the Audi. Look at Will's brother's battery there, Chuck.
Oh yeah, he's out. Yeah, he definitely should start the technique like I talked about in the previous race, trying to drag the brake. As you see the battery actually juicing up as he brakes and downshifts, and the braking system, the clutch system is set up in these kind of cars, and in some road-going supercars to have that energy transferred back into the battery by something like this. As you're going along, dragging the brake, and get that battery juice back up might end up helping you out in the long run.
Indeed, and that brings up something. I know you're not a big F1 guy, but they brought in the new regulations, and they didn't realize what it was going to do to qualifying, where the drivers were relying so much on the battery that the battery would actually run out on the straights, and they would have to do things to recharge it. So it was like counterintuitive. So while the hybrid systems are really great and can create some epic racing, and as we try to figure out how to be sustainable on this earth with sustainable fuel, sustainable energy, everybody's trying their hardest. And one of the things I think is so cool that people don't realize, because they get frustrated because it affects the racing, right? It affects the competition. But the thing is, these teams have billions of dollars, and they can afford to invest in the research of sustainable fuel and EV technology that will then trickle down to us as consumers. So yeah, right now it's not practical, but maybe in 20 years, the sustainable fuel and the hybrid technology that these billion-dollar race teams come up with will become affordable to us. Maybe not us in our generation, but assuming the Earth is still around in 50 years, hopefully they can figure that out. But very cool as we ride on board with Messi coming up in, there we go, Stumpy braking early, not having the downforce, Messi getting through cleanly. And again, props, all four splits. Considering PHG has never done a multi-class, I am beyond impressed with these drivers, John.
Oh yes, definitely 100%. You know, very exciting to watch these kind of races, and it's very nice to see that everybody's if you pardon the pun, observing the rules of the road when it comes to multi-class racing like that. Excuse me, definitely a variable. See, sorry for coughing occasionally, folks. I'm coming off of a head cold, so
No worries. But
I'm on the upswing. It wasn't that bad. It's just a lingering annoyance. Coughing,
I understand, but
like,
you can see there, Will's brother, PHG Will's brother, is the last Group 1 car. He is almost 3 minutes ahead of Metal, who is the first Group 3 car. So you can already see the difference. We're not even halfway through the race. So these Group 3 drivers are doing a lot fewer laps than the Group 1 drivers. And in my opinion, Group 1 takes a whole lot more focus and a whole lot more stamina, especially if you're on a wheel and in VR, Chuck.
oh yes, I agree 100%. Things happen so much faster in those cars, and the visibility is it's a lot less than in general in those Group 3 cars. And because of the sheer speed you're going, just it happens in the blink of an eye, if not faster. As we see replay here, passing Elzo up to the Essence.
That was a great adjustment by Elzo. Elzo was going to hold his line, which, as we've been saying the whole time, hold your line. But clearly he saw, either in his mirror or on the radar, he saw the Group 1 driver being on the inside and opted to open the door instead of making that Group 1 driver. And he did it in an appropriate amount of time. Again, if you're in the slower car, predictability is the most important. We have rules. You can check the rules on Discord of what you're supposed to do as a Group 3 versus a Group 1. But the biggest thing is predictability. Make sure the car behind who's faster passing you at least thinks they know what you're going to do, and allow them to make the choice of where they want to go. It's counterintuitive a lot of the time, but clearly all these drivers have figured it out. And I'm continued to be impressed as we continue to watch this battle. As we saw, at lap 1 or lap 2, Nasty and Iron Fix, having a bit of an incident, and them holding up, waiting. Iron Fix able to get back ahead of Nasty. Dirt McGirt there, all the way in the back. Dirt McGirt didn't pit. I don't know. Did we miss something of him falling back, or did we see that? It's hard to keep track.
I don't think we missed it.
I don't think we saw it. So yeah, something happened. Dirt McGirt falling back. Metal in the pit. Metal in the pits, filling up. He's on the mediums. He will switch to the hards, I assume. That's an early pit. We saw this or in the last race, trying to make that car last. But Metal is in the Corvette, Chuck. I believe the driver who did that in the last race was in the Supra, and we alluded to the Metal having to short shift. Do you think that's going to allow him to make it to the end on a full tank?
We'll have to see. In the vets, you normally have to short shift like we talked about before, because that's just where the power band lies in these great American vehicles. Yes, I know I said that about a Chevrolet. So it's going to be an interesting thing to see how this all plays out.
Yes, indeed. So we have our first pit stop, and we did also, this could be in favor because Metal was leading, right? Metal was leading the Group 3. We said how strong the undercut was, as we see Mr. Racing put in the fastest first sector, barely. Jersey currently holding on the fastest lap. This could be interesting to see if that undercut works, as Will's brother, the first hard tire Group 1 car, opposite pit, as, oh, what a tight inside line we get. We got Will's brother in the pits. I assume he will be going on the mediums, filling up his tank, going for the undercut. So this is going to be a good thing. We need to remember, keep our eyes on Will's brother and keep our eyes on Metal to see if that undercut plays off and they're able to move up. Ideally, Metal finishes P1 in Group 3 and Will's brother moves up at least 1 or 2 positions, Chuck.
Yes, indeed. We're going to have to keep on them because we are approaching the halfway point in this race. Still got a lot of racing to go. A lot can happen. We're at Watkins, Glen. As Will's brother comes out of the pits, hammer down through the S's here.
And if we can move up to P5 and P4 just ahead, you can see Cornbread, who was on the same strategy as Will's brother but didn't pit when Will's brother did, has plenty of tire left, whereas Messi just ahead is on the mediums and he is struggling with tire wear. I'm curious. I think this would be an opportunity for Cornbread to go into the pits as Messi runs a bit wide. No, Cornbread does not go into the pits. No penalty. No, there it is. I thought he was going to get that penalty. Can we see that again and see just exactly how wide he ran there?
It looked too wide from my perspective, but I mean,
right? What do you see, Chuck?
Just
Getting
onto it a little too much. Got a little too far there. It's happened to me. I'm sure it's happened to Team Case. Happened to all of us there when you're really trying to push.
Yeah, and this has allowed Cornbread. I mean, he doesn't need to be aggressive at all. This is the longer layout, so it's a bit of a while for the penalty line, and you can just see how much better the grip is on those hards than it is on the worn mediums. And we had noticed in the last race, and I'm seeing it again here, the worn mediums are slower than 50% hards. This is the changeover point. I wouldn't be surprised if we see both drivers really go into the pits here as we approach the halfway point, Chuck.
Yes, indeed. As we're going to see coming up here, we're about to serve his penalty that will give Cornbread position. Good.
Well, just barely.
Outside. Yep.
But he has better grip on those hards than Messi does on the mediums.
Oh, yeah.
While we were watching this, you see him get a little sideways as he doesn't want to concede the position. We see PHG Jersey, who was on the mediums, come into the pits. Messi not giving up. He's going to have the inside, which will turn to the outside. They go side by side here. Both drivers able to keep it on the track. Clearly, Messi doesn't want to pit. He wants to stay out. Cornbread able to maintain the position as we see Jersey in the pits. Also in Group 3, Iron Fix has gone in the pits, which has allowed Metal to make up 1 position. Jersey with a half-second penalty. And it looks like Messi and Cornbread have parted ways. Let's see here. Metal was the first to pit, so I'm curious what he'll do. Cornbread now with the superior grip, able to pull away, has Metal up ahead. Metal pitting early. He will run into that traffic. Metal running on the hards. And there we go. It looks like everybody's comfortable. Where will Metal go? There we go. Metal holds his line on the inside. Now he's on the outside. Is this going to allow for Messi to come through? I don't see Messi yet. There he is up the inside, and he gets through. Very nicely done. That's a tough spot. I think that would be the worst place to encounter someone, Chuck.
Yes, indeed. Just coming up on a turn like that, it's really hard to react to and plan your way ahead in some situations just like that one. Better Dan in the pits, swapping tires, getting cool.
And that has allowed Mr. Racing up into the lead. Better Dan trying to undercut his closest rival of Mr. Racing. Cornbread coming around the final turn, currently in P3. Will he come out ahead of Better Dan? Better Dan currently refueling to the end of the race. I imagine he takes a full tank at 3 liters per second. It does take a while. That has allowed Cornbread up, but again, Cornbread will need to pit for the mediums, so he's going to come in on a softer compound. But I don't know. I think from what we've seen from the undercut, Mr. Racing may be able to hold on to the lead, but I don't know, Chuck.
Yeah, I don't know. We're just going to have to see how this all plays out. We have officially passed the halfway point. There's still a lot of racing to go. We're going to be seeing a lot of changes in position and a lot of things happening that will change how we think.
Indeed. And I think Group One was really the only Group One or Split One was the only time we saw a bit of an incident with a Group One car overtaking a Group Three car. I don't remember who the Group One car is, but I remember the Group Three car being Oak, and Oak just didn't know he was there and was preparing for the corner and just came out a bit wide and tapped the Group One car. Thankfully, everybody stayed pointed in the right direction. But in general, everybody seems to be on point here as Mr. Racing now goes into the pits. I imagine this will call Cornbread into the pits just behind in P2. No, Cornbread chooses to stay out yet again, going long on those hards. He's getting everything he can on the hards, but look at his last 2 laps, 135, 135. That's not going to do it when these other drivers are running in the lower 130s. But he currently has the lead, so he can at least say he takes the lead as Wether Dan in P3 is going to come out. Is he going to come out behind Mr. Racing? Mr. Racing has refueled all the way. Where is he coming out of the pits? I think Wether Dan is going to snag him. Wether Dan around. You can see Mr. Racing right there on the side of your screen coming out of the pits. And there it is, proof that the undercut works. Wether Dan up into P2. Cornbread still needing to pit. I think Wether Dan is going to come away today with a Group 3 win and a Group 1 win. I don't want to jinx him, but I think so, Chuck.
Yeah, I would agree. I think he's going to end up chasing down Cornbread here and taking the victory. That's something we're going to definitely need to keep an eye on, but that was definitely a feather in his cap as an overall driver to say he's won in Group 3 and Group 1 like this.
Indeed. I was looking back on our Group 3 cars, and unfortunately, Elzo in P9 has come out of the pits with that 3-second pit lane penalty. He has come out on the mediums, but I mean, the penalty here isn't as terrible, but with Stumpy, or I'm sorry, with It's Just Carl only half a second behind, and then Stumpy only 1.8 seconds behind Carl, I imagine Elsa's going to lose at least 2 positions. I think he'll be able to stay ahead of Iron Fix. We'll find out soon enough as Cornbread has now gone into the pits on the hards. He will switch over to the mediums, only 2% of fuel, so he's going to be in the pits a while for fuel. We'll see here as we're about to approach that penalty line. And there goes Elzo. He's getting passed right by Carl and by Stumpy. So losing those 2 positions, but still able to maintain ahead of Iron Fix. So not as bad as it could be, but definitely not great for Elzo.
Yeah.
So let's see,
Elzo,
Wether Dan. Yeah, go ahead, Chuck.
Yeah, Elzo, he had to serve that penalty for cutting the pit line. I'm assuming that's what it was. We talked about it before, how that can really ruin what you got going on for the race and cause you to have to check up. As we see Wether Dan going around the little carousel here. He's back on the power.
Guys, Cornbread came out of the pits. You know, he started last, got his way up to first, tried the overcut. It didn't work because Messi just got by him, and Cornbread is back into last place. So while he was having a solid race, we're just seeing how strong that undercut is, regardless of your skill. But him being on the mediums and Messi being on the hards, we've got just over 25 minutes remaining. I think he can catch him. Whereas we saw in the last race, it was too late. But with what we've seen from Cornbread in previous leagues, Chuck, you think he's got Messi in his sights?
I think it's a possibility. He's going to have to really, exploit the draft of both Group 1 cars and Group 3 cars as he goes to pass them, gain a little bit of extra speed to close that gap. But I think it's a possibility.
Yeah, definitely a possibility. As we look back on our Group 3 battle, it's just Carl leading the way of Group 3, having a solid showing here. He definitely took advantage of Elzo's penalty and taking advantage of the undercut. He's got plenty of fuel where we have just over 24 minutes left to go. He is on the racing mediums. Stumpy on the racing mediums. Elzo also on the racing mediums. All three drivers in the Supra. So it's just a matter of slipstream, penalties, and keeping the car pointed in the right direction. From what I've seen, these drivers haven't been struggling with penalties, Chuck.
No, not really. I mean, you got your occasional mistakes here and there that people have gotten, but all in all, there have not been a whole lot of penalties that we've seen on this weekend's PHG Gran Turismo World Series.
You know what? I just realized as we went by Nasty's car, I have yet to say, booty sweat! Booty sweat! He is in the booty sweat mobile. I suffer from chronic booty sweat. Sorry to overshare. So this livery is near and dear to my heart. We appreciate you, Nasty. Thank you for not racing in the same split as Ecstasy, because that kills me. So love the livery. Keep on keeping on, my friend.
Well, yeah, it's definitely a very funny movie, Tropic Thunder.
So Cornbread has, up in P6, has gotten ahead of Messi with that issue there. So we're seeing those medium tires working. So good on Cornbread, able to move up a little bit, but 12.8 seconds off of Will's brother is a tall order considering we just hit the 23-minute marker remaining. Will be interesting. The rest of the Group 1s are a bit spread out. Mr. Racing only 2.3 seconds behind Wether Dan, but they're on the same strategy. So it's a matter of Wether Dan making a mistake, and considering he just had a full race right now, even though it was in Group 3 and Mr. Racing did a race yesterday, it's a bit pressure for Wether Dan. But I do appreciate everybody coming in. We want to fill 4 splits. We understand that it is summertime here. So much is going on. We just finished NRL. I know so many people are burnt out from that. We have other leagues coming up. But hopefully everyone's going to see these races and see how fun this multi-class is. And we'll definitely get 4 full splits of qualified drivers. But appreciate everyone who is willing to run again, try something different. It's a lot of fun to see. And honestly, the PHG World Series was created as a league, not to be broadcast, just to race. We did the broadcasting as an after effect, or afterthought. So the goal of this is to have good racing. Our goal of the broadcast is to let you see it. However, regardless of what's going on in the broadcast, you can see how great this racing is. We want people to join. Check the Discord. Everything is in the Discord. Check out papashouseofgame.com. All the info's in there. We would love to have y'all, even if you can just come for one race. You don't have to commit to the whole season. We'd love for you to. But if you want a fun race with clean driving and multi-class that you don't typically see, this is the way to do it. And then, of course, we do the broadcasts, and I've had multiple people tell me through the various broadcasts I've done is, I tell people I can't hang out Friday night or Saturday afternoon because I'm doing a league race. And they look at me like, what are you talking? You mean you have to go play a video game? And then they share the broadcast with them. And their friends are like, holy cow, I had no idea that's what you were doing. And now, I know people whose families, their kids, their spouses, their relatives all tune in to watch them races. We see Mr. Racing get past Nasty in the Group 3 car. Well done, Mr. Racing, gaining on Wether Dan. But the idea of these broadcasts is just to give everybody else an idea of what's going on and how fun this is, and just give exposure to everybody. We love to see it, and we'd love to have you join here. Chuck, are you going to try to do any of these races this season, or are you just going to be in the booth?
I really don't know. I might just end up being in the booth as usual. Shaggy's got a really good schedule laid out for majority of people who can make these races. Unfortunately, with me working 12-hour shifts and rotating off days, it depends on where I would fall in a split.
Oh wow!
Wow! Did you see that?
That was incredible from Jersey. You saw who was that? That was Dirt McGirt getting a little squirrely. Take us through this, Chuck.
We've got Jersey coming up on Dirt McGirt here, and he gets down to the inside like he should, and he's looking to use that ideal line, and it was taken up by Wether. But thankfully for some good evasive driving, some good awareness by both drivers, able to get by clean and race, or continue his race.
Yeah, that was incredible reaction from Jersey. I think he was expecting Dirt McGirt to say why, but Dirt McGirt got a little squirrely and had to cut back to the inside, so Jersey had to adapt, got squirrely himself, and kept it together. Cornbread now closing the gap between himself and Will's brother and putting quite a big gap on those racing mediums between him and Messi. So with just over 18 minutes left to go, I mean, 9.5 seconds as you see he's gone purple. Jersey currently has the fastest lap of a 132.070, but Cornbread looking to threaten. He does have a little bit of traffic of Dirt McGirt. Where do they come together? Can it be on this short straight before the next left-hander? I think it's going to be okay. Dirt McGirt, he decides to move out of the way. Easy done, predictable, and that allows Cornbread ahead. We're going to stay on board as Will's brother goes into the pits. This is going to allow Cornbread up into P4. Let's see if he manages to make the fastest lap, or did that bit of a wiggle from Dirt McGirt cause an issue? Yes, it did, 0.035. That little wiggle of the lap traffic prevented him from getting the fastest lap, but that's multi-class racing, Chuck.
Yeah, it is, and it's controlled chaos to a whole different level. The argument could be made that any race is controlled chaos, but it's amplified once you've got multiple classes of cars on the track, and the awareness that you need to have and any disastrous things from happening. As we see Stumpy up into the tricky bit here, as I always say, going on the throttle very nicely, trying to catch up to It's Just Carl. Down here, brakes, rotates through. It's Just Carl in a 4D racewear and Simnet livery, paint scheme, however you want to call it.
He's also got my Home Alone decal on the top of his car.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta love it. Thanks, Joe Collins, for getting that in the game. It looks like Stumpy is catching even more rapidly. I was going to say we should go up to the leaders, but no, Stumpy is making this more compelling because Wether and Mr. Racing are still 0.8 seconds away from each other. So this is definitely the battle as Jersey sneaks in. You can see it's just a matter of hitting your marks, being consistent. It does look like It's Just Carl has been very consistent. We know what a talented driver he is, and driving that Supra to the max. He's got Stumpy, though, 0.3, and now well within the slip. Is Stumpy going to try to make a move here? He's got the momentum. He doesn't. He stays behind. He thinks better of it. They got 16 minutes to go. No need to rock the boat now. But this is a compelling battle for the lead of Group 3, which is always fun to see when you have these multi-class racing. As we go back up on board, Wether actually has been able to pull away both drivers on the racing hard tires, both with similar amounts of fuel. Mr. Racing slightly more fuel than Wether, so Wether will have a slightly lighter car. They should both make it to the end, but here we go. We're going to see how much the dirty air comes into play, because once you're within that 1 second, 1.2 second range, you start to feel the effects. And for those who don't understand what we're talking about when we talk about dirty air, especially these Group 1 cars, they require downforce. All the body parts and panels are on there designed for the air flowing over the car to push it down onto the ground. So basically the opposite of an airplane wing. An airplane wing is set up to allow the air to push the airplane up. These cars have reverse airplane wings to push them down. So when you have a car in front of you, that air is all disrupted. It's all turbulent. If you've ever flown, I fly all the time, you hit turbulent air, it's not fun. It's actually kind of scary. And so what Mr. Racing is having to do is drive in this turbulent air, which means he has less downforce. The downforce is keeping the car on the ground. It's making it easier on the tires. It's relying less on mechanical grip. The Group 3 cars are relying more on mechanical grip. That's why we saw their tires wear out more. And these cars, their tires aren't wearing as much because the tires aren't having to keep the car on the track. The downforce is the air. So as he follows Dan, his tires are going to be worse for wear, whereas Dan has clear air and is getting maximum downforce.
Yes, indeed. Downforce plays a critical role, obviously, and that's a great analogy you made, TK. It's about a reverse airplane. I never thought to think of it that way, actually. So as we see Cornbread coming up here through the penalty area, not serving a penalty, obviously, down into the right-hander here out of the boot, and powering out, getting ready for this left-hander, last sector here. As he rolls back on that throttle, all that track, coming up onto this portion that is so easy to go a wee bit too wide, but he manages to keep it between the ditches. And around to the front stretch, wide open throttle, down into turn 1. He is going to brake right about here at the 100 meter board, 200 meter board area. Clips that inside curve nicely and uses all that track, winds it out as he powers up through the S's.
Chuck, something interesting I noticed. Did you notice when he applied the brake, and this applies to the downforce, he didn't go full brake. He was only about 50% brake for turn 1. That was
That's something definitely you don't want to slow down too much in these cars because, like you said, there's not a whole lot of mechanical grip. Oh, as we see Messi up the inside here, very nicely done. But as I was saying, he's got a half-second penalty though. As I was saying, with need to keep up some speed in these cars because of the lack of mechanical grip. We need to keep the speed up to keep the downforce on the car so it just doesn't, spin off into oblivion when you go back to get on the power.
Right. Great point. So Will's brother is in the back of the Group 1s. He's 11 seconds off of Messi. Sitting here on the medium tires, half a tank of fuel. Looks like he's got some lap traffic up ahead. Gonna have to make his way through there. And that's something I think one of our sponsors, Simnet, that I need to start looking into it because I know C-Dubs has told me over and over again about how great Simnet's pedals are, and since I have Fanatec, they work seamlessly with Fanatec, is the braking. Because I do have the Fanatec just basic load cell pedal, which is amazing, but I think upgrading to a little bit better brake pedal where I can better do that half brake, quarter brake, trail braking will definitely make a difference for sure.
Yeah, and I definitely want to check out MZW as well. Seeing if I can maybe find some GT3 Mustang wheels or some Ford GT wheels. Everybody knows I'm the big Ford fanboy of the group. I love my Mustangs. I love my Ford GTs. It'd be cool to have, especially considering I run Fanatec as well, to incorporate that into my collection wheels. And ever since making the jump from Thrustmaster over to Fanatec, I have been nothing but pleased. Right. A few little things here and there, like wheel locking up on me because of the what do they call it, the full force. I think they might have rectified that in the recent firmware update.
Yeah, you gotta update. Gotta update.
Yep. So I definitely made sure to do that, and I haven't had any issues since.
Nice.
I really like the full force. People don't use it because they say it's too much information, but I love the immersion and just try to adapt my driving style as best I can to compensate for all of that information being fitted through the wheel.
Yeah, fair enough. And I will say, I think the big three, and by well done, Better Dan. Good awareness by that Corvette not to turn in. I will say, I think the big three, and by big three I mean Thrustmaster, Logitech, Fanatec, right? They work for consoles. Obviously, you have different ones that only work for PC. But for the ones that work for console, I will say I think they're all a great wheel. Better Dan, I know for a fact, is on the Thrustmaster T598. My brother has the T598. And aside from the pedals, which they just came out with new pedals, so that has been rectified, I really like the T598. It's great. I think had it been available when I bought my Thrustmaster, basically because of cost, I probably would have gone T598, but that wasn't an option. And I know, McNaughty and a few others run the Logitech Pro. I know that's an excellent wheel. So I think really now you can't go wrong between the direct drive options that are out there, especially for Gran Turismo. It's just a matter of understanding your settings, making sure your firmware's up to date. I think that's a big thing. People buy it, they plug it in and just go. Unfortunately, you need to plug it into a PC and update the software, and that usually takes care of most of the problems. And right on board with our leader.
Better Dan. With our leader, Better Dan, and it's looking like maintaining a good distance, maybe pulling a little bit on Mr. Racing. We'll have to see as he goes through some things here, weaving through the bus stop with ease, nice and tight along the side that carousel, and into the downhill left-hander, coming down through the gears and rolling back on that throttle. The gear coming up on a Group 3 car, I believe that's Elzo. Up that tricky bit as he got down to the inside and rolls back on the gas into this right-hander. Applies the brakes here and goes down through the gears, rolls back on the throttle.
He's coming up to our closest Group 3 battle between Stumpy and It's Just Carl leading the way, so he's passing the battle for the top spot. It's by Stumpy, no problem. Looks like he should. Nope, Carl takes the apex. He should be. Oh no, he goes into the back. He didn't slow up just enough, but Better Dan able to get through. I wonder if that hurt It's Just Carl. It looks like it did ever so slightly. Chuck, what do you see here?
Oh, he's coming down through the second to last turn at the ultimate corner, and he sees the slower Group 3 car, and he's just got to react as much as he can while maintaining the speed. I think it was just a matter of timing there. You know, it's one of those tougher sections of the track to react when you're trying to make a pass, especially in multi-class racing like we're seeing here. You got a really, really fast car in the Group 1 cars screaming up on the lower Group 3 cars, and you just have to really plan ahead. And even, you know, planning ahead, sometimes things happen and you can't really react in time.
Yeah, I think Carl did exactly the right thing. He didn't make any adjustment. He took his line. Better Dan hadn't caught up to him for Carl just to open the door. So Carl did the right thing. I think Better Dan just carried a bit more momentum, wasn't quite expecting to get onto the back of Carl's bumper as quickly as he did, but no harm, no foul. Everybody kept pointing in the right direction. Carl able to maintain the lead, but it definitely has cost him, as Stumpy is now within just under a second of Carl as we are approaching the 6-minute mark. So things are winding down. Tires on Carl and Stumpy look about the same. Fuel is about the same as well. So we will see how these laps play out. It's just a matter of who blinks first. Looks like our Group 1 cars are all spread out a bit. I mean, Mr. Racing is just behind, but too far to do anything at the moment, especially being on the hard tires there on the same strat. So we got Jersey approaching this battle. This could be in Stumpy's favor, depending on when the overtake happens. Let's see if he can get by before the S's. And it looks like he does, but that Carl left the door open to let Jersey by. That slowed Carl down, not on the optimal line. This is going to give Stumpy a run into the bus stop, Chuck. What do you think's going to happen here?
I think if it was me, I'd look to the inside and stick my nose out there and try to make the pass. It looks like that's exactly what he's doing. Laid on the brakes and passes right through. Very nice pass. But Stumpy got offline a little bit, giving Carl the opportunity to tuck back into that draft and try to take 7 back.
That was incredible, and it looks like Iron Fix opted to go into the pits. He's coming out on the softs, hoping for a fastest lap. He couldn't quite make his strat work. That's going to be the race for Iron Fix. It does look like the battle continues, though, between It's Just Carl and Stumpy for P7 as they approach more Group 1 cars getting by. And you can see that is multi-class racing at its finest. Carl did nothing wrong. He just couldn't get on the line like he wanted. and that allowed Stumpy through. So now it's a matter of time before Carl able to do something. And with the way traffic is, I wouldn't be surprised if we see something similar fall into Carl's favor. And it doesn't look like there's much going on in the Group 1 battles. Everyone is line astern, messy with a half-second penalty just served. And they continue on as Stumpy is about to start lap 31 of this hour-long race. Just to give you some perspective, they're on lap 31. Vetterdan is on lap 36, so you can just see the difference. Vetterdan having passed them 5 times now. Very impressive stuff from these drivers. And everyone keeping it pointed in the right direction. As we've seen, there's plenty of places just to make your own mistake. You referred to that tricky section, Chuck. What makes that uphill right-hander so tricky?
It's just the way it's set up. That takes. I don't know quite how to describe it, but it's very easy for that tail end to step out if you get too hard on the gas. I think it might be something having to do with the physics of the car going uphill and off to the right, and it might also depend on the layout of the car. Having to maybe know a better way to verbalize the physics of that uphill right-hander here, this tricky bit.
Yeah, we're about to watch it. It looks like it's cambered, and I think here's what it is. Look, right here, it's no longer cambered. It flattens out while you're still turning. And I think that's where it catches people off guard. They have the camber to help them as Carl clearly gets a better exit, but unable. It's hard to make a move into this right-hander. I would say this is the turn I struggle with most, and we saw plenty of drivers get track limits. So we may see a move going into turn 1 if Carl can stay on Stumpy's bumper and get a better exit on the final corner. It may be good, but I don't know, Chuck. Do you think it's better to overtake in turn 1 or stay behind and try to overtake on the straight into the bus stop?
I would prefer, I think, to try to stay behind and overtake on that long flat-out section into the bus stop, because you've got that draft that can help you along to generate that run and either make the pass before the bus stop or at the bus stop. That would be my preference in a situation like that.
Ooh, and it looks like Stumpy got a better exit than Carl. Carl a little hesitant. We saw him dance on the throttle there, unable to get back on the power. That's going to allow Stumpy ahead. Vetterdan now, a minute 46 left, a minute 45, so he's going to have at least 1 lap, maybe 2. We'll see what the time is at when he crosses the finish line. Remember, y'all, this is an endurance race, 60 minutes. So however many laps you can do in 60 minutes. So this will be the final lap for Vetterdan. We will see what happens here, as there's only a minute 25 left, and he's been running 133s. He's approaching some traffic from Nasty. Can he get the car turned? That's very hard to get it rotated. Dirt McGirt picking up a penalty, able to get through, maintain that lead on Mr. Racing. Well done from Vetterdan, having great car control and keeping it together through that. Mr. Racing now gonna come up to them. Can he get past before the bus stop? That's ideal. I think he will. Look at the speed difference there, 183 miles an hour. Can he get it slowed down through the bus stop perfectly? Starting to slowly catch on Vetterdan. But now that we've approached the last lap of this race for the Group 1 cars, I don't think it's going to happen. I'm going to step back and take a look here at our Group 3 leader in Stumpy. This may be his final lap. Only time will tell. No, he should get 1 more lap. Stumpy here will cross the line before that. So Stumpy and It's Just Carl will get to continue on for 1 more lap. That'll be the battle for the lead of Group 3. Looks like Vetterdan has it in the cards for Group 1. Only time will tell, Papa. I will let you know when Vetterdan's approaching the start-finish line if we can stay on Stumpy and Carl. So we're on Stumpy and Carl here, coming up to the bus stop. And as I say that, Vetterdan is about to cross the line in P1, as you saw Will's brother go through. So Vetterdan will win the Group 1 of Split 4. He's got Mr. Racing just behind him in P2. And it looks like Jersey will cross the line in time. This should be the end for Iron Fix. And congratulations to Vetterdan. So let's stay on board with the battle for Group 3 here. It's Just Carl having conceded to Stumpy earlier on, and it's He's running out of time, Chuck. Where can he overtake here at the end of this lap?
I don't know if he can with the tire wear that he's got. I mean, he's got to close that distance real quick, but I don't think he can with the tire wear that he's got. And, what kind of tire compound is Stumpy on?
They're both on the mediums. They are both on the mediums. So
how far is he's got slightly better tire wear?
Slightly better.
Well, I don't
Slightly
know.
better.
I don't
These are
think
the
he
final
can
corners.
Yeah, he can't close that gap in enough time.
Yeah, Carl's got to hope for a mistake, but the way Stumpy's been driving, I don't think that's going to happen. Stumpy's going to bring it home for the win. 2 more corners here. Left-hander. Then we got a right-hander. No pens. Keep it on the track. Well done, Stumpy. That would have been the saving grace for Carl if Stumpy picked up a pen, but he doesn't. And that's going to be our final race. Well done to Stumpy, keeping it close with It's Just Carl, P1 and P2 for Group 3. And Elzo will round out the podium for Group 3. GG's, y'all. GG's.
Indeed. GG's indeed. What a race. Whew. Better
Anything
Dan.
surprise you there, Chuck?
Not really,
Yeah.
I believe it was Vetter Dan we were talking about earlier. He won in GT3 and GT, right? Or Group 3 and Group 1?
Yep.
Yep. So, excuse me, I'll take us down the finishing order. We got our Group 1 winner with Vetter Dan in P1. Sector 7 Racing's own Mr. Racing 40 in P2. P3 goes to our Jersey. P4 goes to Cornbread to round out our Group 1 cars. The winner, it looks like, of the, excuse me, I'm sorry, that doesn't round out Group 1. In the Porsche is PHG's Will's brother and Messi in P6, also in the Porsche. P7, Stumpy wins the Group 3 in the Supra, followed by our It's Just Carl, also in the Supra. And FAF Elzo next up in the Supra and P9, P10 Metal in the Corvette C7. P11 we've got Iron Fix from PHG in the Supra. P12 Dirt McGirt in the Supra as well, and PHG Nasty also in the Supra.
Oh, we lost you, Chuck.
Oh.
There we go. We got you back, I think. That was an incredible race. What a great round 1. The racing was incredible. We got some work to do on the broadcast side, y'all. But remember, it's about the racing.
Yep.
We'll get better on the broadcast. We'll fix our stuff.
Indeed.
But I had a lot of fun. I thought Papa did a great job on camera. We got all the action. We got great replays. Again, I ran the stream last night, y'all. I don't mean to harp on it, but it's not easy. It really isn't easy. We appreciate everyone's patience. We hope everyone enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe. Check out the Discord if you're interested. Also, check out papashouseofgame.com. All the information is there. I think we need to pick a driver of the split, Chuck, of the race. I'll let you pick first.
I am going to go with Vetter Dan on this one.
Yeah.
The fact that he won in Group 3 and in Group 1 is really a testament to his versatility as a driver and how he can be fast in either of those.
Indeed. And you know what? I'm going to go with It's Just Carl. Carl started oh no, I'm sorry. Well, I appreciate you. It's Just Carl. No, I meant to say Stumpy. Stumpy started in P2 and managed to work his way up into P1 for Group 3. So I'll say Stumpy. But we can say Carl is an honorable mention because just like Vetter Dan, he did the Group 1 race and then he was very competitive there in Group 3. So big shout out to It's Just Carl. Very incredible stuff. We'll get a poll going. And while that poll's up, y'all please vote. So we need to talk about a few things. So we had 4 races tonight, or this weekend. My apologies. And for those who don't know, the qualifying goes on during the week. We have qualifying during the week. That determines your split. your split, that determines where you start in the race. So we don't do qualifying on race day. It is very important that you make it to the qualifying, that you stay up to date in the Discord, keep an eye on things, and don't be scared to ask questions. If you're not sure, I'm terrible at Discord. I'll tell y'all this. I am involved with so many leagues. I have my own Discord. I suck at it. So don't feel bad when you don't know where to find stuff and you don't know where it is. Just ask. You see people like me, you see Chuck, you see Papa, you see Shaggy, who's created the league, Salamander. All of us are involved. And if we don't know the answer, we can put you in the right direction. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to get involved. It also, we have a full-time staff as far as commentating, but we're always looking for extra. As you see, we have an empty square here on the screen where it says PHG. So if you want to, take a crack at commentating, let us know and we can put you on the volunteer. And if we have an opening and you want to try it, we'd love to have you in here. I mean, that's how Chuck got started. And now he's in here quite regularly. So that's
yeah.
really great. Before we tell everybody what's up next, Chuck, just your thoughts on the weekend.
Very busy weekend for me. It was definitely a fun weekend. I've commentated on a total of 5 races between yesterday and today. Unfortunately, I'm starting to lean towards maybe backing out of doing Manufacturers Cup tonight because I'm tired.
Yep.
But it's definitely worth it. I have a lot of fun. I love to see that multi-class racing has been a success for our first time out in doing this. And I'm looking forward to some more future events all up here in the booth with my friends in the PHG community and any guest commentators that we have.
Indeed, indeed. Well said. So let's talk about next weekend. We have qualifying Tuesday and Wednesday next week. And then we have racing Friday and Saturday. And what is that race, you ask? What is that race? I'll tell you what that race is. We are at wait, no. Where are you? We are at, why isn't it not showing? There we go. Monza no chicane. No, I like Monza no chicane. So we don't have to worry about your typical T1 chaos, but in certain cars, T1 and no chicane can still be tricky. So Monza no chicane, we're doing the GT1 Group C cars. So that's going to be your Mazda, your Nissan, those classic 90s Group C, just insanely fast and hard to handle. Not nearly as much downforce as we saw today. So that's going to be the Group 1. And then GT3 is going to be GT3 Legends. So let's see. So for the GT3 Legends, that's going to be your Super GT cars. There was a great video recently through Red Bull, Ford Racing, whatever they're called, where Max got to drive a modern GT500 car, Super GT. Those are basically GT3 cars on steroids. They are insane. So we're going to do the classics, though. So we got for Group 3, we got the Honda NSX GT500. We got the Nissan GTR GT500. We got the Nissan Skyline Super Silhouette. We got the Supra GT500. And we got the, Poppy, you're going to love this, the McLaren F1 GTR BMW there. That's going to be crazy. I hope to see some Fast and Furious liveries out there for those. And let me read through the Group 1 or Group C cars. We got the Mazda 787B, the Nissan R92C, the Sauber Mercedes C9, the Porsche 962C, and the Jaguar XJR. So this is going to be a lot different, a lot less turns, and I would say much more difficult cars to drive. Brake balance is allowed. Monza no chicane. Check out the Discord. Get on there. Get involved. Let's see. Did we close the poll to see who driver of the split was?
Yes, it is.
Vetterdan 2 for 2. Can't find a Vetterdan. Very nicely done. And there it is. There's that F1 McLaren. So cool. So cool.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Chuck. that's it for us. I'll let you say your goodbyes, and then I'll close this out, my friend.
All right. Well, we do thank you all for tuning in on your Saturday afternoon to watch us. It was definitely a fun time to commentate and to be here hanging out with you all. Always remember, check out Papa's streaming, like and subscribe there. Check out T-Case on YouTube as well at TCase101. He also streams and does sim racing stuff, as do I at Mustang Chuck. I do sim racing and some action adventure games, other games I like to play that are big time heavy into the story. I know I'm doing Indiana Jones and the Great Circle right now. That's definitely a fun one. Indiana Jones was a childhood hero of mine. It's definitely a very fun game. So I'll turn it over to you, T-Case. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend.
Well, just to make sure you're not alone, we went to Universal, and we saw the Indiana Jones stunt show. I immediately went to the thrift store as a small child with my mom and got a leather jacket and a hat. So I know exactly what you mean.
I had the same thing growing up. I had a fedora, a whip, and an Indiana Jones outfit. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, before we go, I do want to just a quick thank you again to our sponsors, SimNet, Paul Davis, 4D Racewear, and MZW. Again, big thank you to Papa for hosting this stream today. Well done. Big thank you to Shaggy for putting this on. He does such an incredible job, y'all. I love it. I love it. And then someone who hasn't been around this weekend and who we have dearly missed, Salamander. We miss you. We can't wait for you to be home. We know you're having fun, but come home and help us. We need it. But yes, thank you, Chuck. Solid job today and yesterday. Great job to all the drivers. Please like and subscribe. And remember the PHG motto, great racers, better people. We'll catch y'all later. Bye.
Well, PHG family, you stayed to the last lap. Hands up, screens up. One more time for the ride. Turn tonight. You held the line with me through red flags and green light.
Pit lane stories, full gas, hearts. We chase that finish sound.
Now the last spring fades away,
But we ain't slowing down.
hear that engine call.
One more roll of thunder.
Keep that fire in your chest.
We're going back under.
PHG World Series Season 4.
We were born for more. Until next time,
We hit the floor, we hit the floor.
PHG World Series Season 4. Keep that engine roar. Until next time,
We run it back once more.
You saw the slide, you saw the save.
You saw the last lap grin.
Every wheel to wheel, every close call.
We felt you leaning in.
The checkered flag don't mean goodbye, just means the night went wild.
Save that spot for the next green. We'll meet you